I see your.
Yeah, now we are. Now we are. So
All right.
welcome everybody. We're working out the glitches. I knew that I saw that before. Remember, I said that I could see certain things, but
Yeah.
I think we need to tag somehow, get your Instagram on it, and that's what was holding us off. So we are live on the YouTube, on the Facebook channels. This is the plan. This is what we're going to do moving forward. I know that we've already gone over it for the first 5 minutes, but we'll do it again because we're now live on
All right,
YouTube.
so Randy, the question is,
Yeah.
where are you from? Because I'm going to put you on the map. I'm going to thumbtack it. So are you Philadelphia or are you St. Pete?
I'm going to have to think about it. I've always said I was born in Philadelphia, and I know you say it's not where you were born. It's where you pay taxes. It's where you pay rent. It's blah, 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 blah. But, a lot of times the fighters, it says, fighting out of, by way of.
Right.
So, we might want to do that, but I'll think about it. But it's all where you identify as, that's the world we live in.
So what do you identify with?
I don't know. I'm going to think about it. I've always said Philadelphia because to me that's cooler. I like that I was from Philadelphia, even though I didn't spend much time there. I was stationed there a whole lot longer than I lived there as a young baby. I vacationed there longer. Okay. So I don't know. We're going to think about it. I'm going to think about it.
Well, let's ask Eric Mayerl, the mayor of Knockout Radio. Is he from Denver? Is he? Where are you calling home, Eric, in the chats? And any of you listening live around the world?
You got to get in the chats. First of all, if you want to comment, you got to get in the chat room.
He's in it right now. So if you're wherever you're watching from, tag wherever you're from, wherever your heart tells you that you are from, and we'll put you on the map. And you'll be a part of our show forever.
Yep. No, I see. I'm going to think about it.
Have you looked at the analytical of Knockout Radio's 77,000 subscribers? Have you seen how big of a reach you have globally? Are you surprised that it's not all local to like Florida or Tampa?
Well, I know that we've joked about it. Knockout Radio is massive in India.
Yeah.
Eric Mayola is going with Denver. So as of right now, subject to change, if I'm going to be first up there, let's put Philadelphia up there for now.
Okay.
Because once you're the first, once you're the inaugural, it can be changed, but I'm still always the first. Like our first guest that's coming up will always be the inaugural first guest of the live stream on YouTube. So we'll go with Philadelphia for me. Where are you? What are you going to put?
I think I got to go with Brazil.
Oh, shut up.
I mean, my heart is Brazilian.
Well,
I have a tattoo of a Brazilian flag on my body. I don't have a flag of America.
Well, that's good.
I have a flag behind me. I don't have a tattoo of it on my body.
You're as much Brazilian as let me think, as the Tampa Bay Devil Rays won a World Series.
It's close.
Negative.
I'm just saying, I identify more as Brazilian, with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. Love the culture. My daughters are half Brazilian. It's a great country. Like, why would?
I get all that, but that's them. That's not you.
That is me. That's my vibe. That's what I feel like. That's I even got one of their monuments tattooed on my body. This whole Jesus tattoo. It's Statue of Rio.
I guess it's what you identify as, even though they don't want you, and you're not Brazilian. You've barely vacationed there. But if that's what you want to go with it.
Speaking of not being wanted, do you know what they call someone who likes women and also equally likes men, but neither side like them?
No.
They call them by yourself.
Oh my God.
Come on, man. Oh, DJ Tony. Oh, there's Ed. Ed didn't like that joke. All right, we're gonna have to do a wellness check on Ed every 15 minutes.
Just to make sure he's awake.
Make sure he's alive. Shit.
Oh my God.
DJ
right.
Tony checking in.
Let's go hit our first break, and then when we return, we're going to return with our inaugural live guest on the stream when we return. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by Staff Zone and 8 Man Strong.
Hi, everybody. Ernie Harwell of the Detroit Tigers, and I want to recommend Talking Sports with Randy Harris, one of the great shows of all time.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat? Berg Sports Bar and Grill. You want to have a drink? Where do you go? Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it? That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field. Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
This is Randy Harris for Mick for Hair at Got Split End Salon in Pinellas Park, our official hair care and grooming provider who caters to everyone, women, men, kids, and senior citizens in an affordable, upscale environment staffed with the most talented professionals in the business. Visit Mick for Hair at Got Split Ends today at 4376 Park Boulevard in Pinellas Park, or call them at 727-290-9873.
Check out fantasypets.com, where fantasy meets cutting-edge technology. We create breathtaking 3D printed fantasy creatures that captivate hearts and minds, from the T-Rex to the dragons and the shark to the crocodile. Every fantasy pet is a testament to our dedication and precision and quality. You can request custom designs and bulk pricing as well. Go to fantasypets.com. That's fantasypets.com. Say goodbye to outdated equipment and welcome the latest smart technology into your home. With Cool Breeze AC, you can effortlessly control the temperature and create the perfect environment from anywhere at any time. Call Cool Breeze today at 727-954-3605.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you are bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
This is Pound for Pound, the best fighter in the world, Floyd Mayweather, and you're talking sports with Randy, the best in the world, Harris.
Now the best in me. Now I can clearly see. Days keep getting better. Nights keep getting better. Days keep getting better. Nights keep getting better. It's true. It's true. It's true.
The idiot's been on the show 15 minutes and he's already going to get fired.
What are you talking about? That's an intro for
Play
Mick
the
Ferrari.
music I told you to play, jackass.
I just played it, dummy. Did you hear it? Did you hear it, Mick?
Yeah, I heard it, Matt. What do I tell you? When we're live streaming, you're supposed to broadcast without your shirt. What's going on?
No, I
Hold
started that.
on a second. Hold on.
I started the show.
Hold on. Play the right open, Matt.
I did it.
That's not the right one.
That's what you emailed me.
No, that's not the one that you played.
You emailed me that. How did I get this Queer Eye for the Sports Guy song? How did this come to me without you?
The beginning.
I've got it. I've got it.
That's all I got.
I am so flaming.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Quit playing with your dinghy.
That's the one.
And now, Mick for Hair presents Queer Eye for the Sports Guy with Mick Ferrari.
Our very first inaugural guest, and Matt screws it up, but Cakes and Pies, Mick Ferrari on the show.
Hey, we're here on the live stream. What's up, fellas?
We are learning. Matt played the right one to make sure he had the right one, and then he played something else. I don't know what that was.
You know, I've never met
Oh, well,
Mick.
that was
Well,
the long version.
Well, he didn't go back to the beginning. So come so you can see what Mick looks like, Ed.
I've never seen Mick. He's never seen me. We'll leave it that way.
All right, we'll leave it that way. So for the audience, Mick Ferrari is my longest running sponsor. How long have you been involved?
Finally, he copped to it.
Yeah, well, I've held out so that you can make me look beautiful. How long has it been since we first met and since you first got involved?
I think it was 98 or 99. I think it was 99, I believe. So yeah, quite a while.
How about that? So how's things going? I know, but let's let the people know about Got Split Ends. It's located on Park Boulevard. I just happened to be there yesterday to get.
Yes, actually, we are Sheer Artistry Studios now, conveniently located by the Knockout Radio Studio at 4376 Park Boulevard, Pinellas Park. So yes, come and see us. How are you guys all doing? It is a sausage fest in here today.
Hey,
Where's
Matt, I think Mick is having a stroke. Look at how he's shaking that camera.
Yeah.
My little handheld thing pooped out on me, so I'm actually hand holding. So yeah, I'm getting a little wonky. But this is my best angle, and the light's good, so I'm just hanging in there for that. Well, since it's a boys' fest today and a big old sausage party, which that's how I like it. What about you guys with the ladies? Did you guys hear about the WNBA star? They erected a statue to her outside Climate Pledge Stadium in Seattle. What is that girl's name? I was just looking it up. But I wanted to ask you guys about
no
what do you
erections in the WNBA.
Well, since it was all guys today, I figured we'd acknowledge the ladies and how they erected a statue to the retired player. Which is terrific. Asia Wilson, who's also in the WNBA, they put a statue up at her alma mater, her college, but it was kind of more for activism and community service and that kind of thing. So I wanted to ask you guys, what woman athlete, since this is, MMA themed, maybe an MMA fighter or a woman athlete, do you guys think that they should erect a statue to?
All right, first I'm going to go out on a limb and take a guess that Seattle, I think, was Sue Bird.
Yeah, Sue Bird. That's right. That's what it was. Yeah. She played guard for many years. She retired a couple years ago. Very good, Randy. See?
Of course.
So who do you guys think? Who would be your choice, Matt?
Of course, Mick Ferrari bring up erections on his first interview on Knockout Radio.
The statue's really pretty, too. You should Google it. Her hair's flying in the breeze. It looks great.
Matt, before you answer, and this is probably going to get me in trouble, but probably the best, I think it's called a faux pas, is when Mick was on once, we were talking about the Daytona 500, and I asked him, how important is it to be on the pole? We were talking about the driver that was on the pole. And it was
we were having two totally different conversations.
Loaded question.
Exactly. So what's your thought, Matt? What female deserves to have a statue?
I don't know, man. We talked about statues last week. There's really no monuments being built anymore, like the pyramids, the Stonehenge, the Arch in St. Louis. So like we're in a modern era where we're giving them statues like Tom Brady's and to Sue Bird's, and I don't know. I'd rather see more like natural, like big attractions, not just individual statues.
Well, ironic. Before you give us yours, Mick, and Ed, if you have one. They just announced it's not a statue, but it's pretty damn close. The University of, I think it's just Auburn. I don't know if it's called the University of Auburn. I should get a hold of Alex Weghorn to let me know. They've just retired the number for Newton. Cam Newton's number is now retired at Auburn.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a good bet.
Look how impressed Mick was.
I got.
Was it his jersey? Was it his jersey number, or was it the number of
his phone number
on his check being paid to play college football?
So Mick, who are you thinking? What
well, I think that was a really nice tribute to Sue Bird for her long career. She played for them her whole career, right? And retired with them, and been retired a couple of years, and he's done a lot of great things out there in Seattle. So that's a great choice. And like I said, Asia Wilson a couple of years ago, they did one for her, but that was about her where she went to school, and it was kind of more for her community service and stuff. But I think it's a nice acknowledgement for women in sports. And I know you guys have a lot of the female fighters on your show. Any of the female fighters you think would be worthy?
Well, that's the argument that we've all talked about, UFC wise and MMA wise. Everybody jumps to Ronda Rousey. They forget about Gina Carano, who started it. Without her, would there have been Ronda? Would there have been Amanda Nunes? So it's really, where do you decide who gets that statue? Most people, most of the young people are going, oh, Ronda, look everything Ronda did. But what would Ronda do today, Matt, if she fought in the UFC today, other than get dominated?
Yeah, I mean, the game's evolved, so I don't know. The only statue I really want to see is this one right here. Oh, look at that, Randy.
Luckily, it's blocked. So
yeah, it is.
Oh, dang. See,
that's the problem with me giving Matt any control to any of the levers and such.
I really wanted to show my my tattoo, my statue of, got split ends.
Yes, the gladiator statue. We're going to mount that outside the studio there, Matt.
There you go.
Well, not in our studio. Maybe if you want there at the salon on Park. I just felt the only way to start this new era that Matt's been on me for years was to have you as our very first guest, our very first live video guest.
This is very exciting, and I earned it, darn it. So God bless you guys. I'm really excited.
Now, do you want the bad news, Mick?
Yes.
Okay. Like you already don't see me enough. Now that we're on video every week, that means you're going to see a whole lot more of me. So
wow.
Look the part.
And he's still wearing the cap and doesn't own a suit jacket.
Wearing a cap, and then look, I haven't had a haircut in 2 years. Look at this thing.
All right.
Well, Matt, I didn't want to say anything, Matt, but yeah.
I need some help.
Well, it's great to see you guys. I'm really excited for this new area of the show, and look forward to being on with you again real soon. Good luck and congratulations.
Appreciate it. That is my longest running sponsor, Mick Ferrari. He's been involved, and he will continue to be involved. So let's go hit a break and back to the shenanigans when we return.
Oh.
Hey, Tommy, this is Terrell Owens, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
8-Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8-Man Strong.
Rhino Cards, located at 406 11th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, is your one-stop card collection facility, specializing in all sports, Pokemon, Star Wars, and of course, Knockout Radio's favorite, the UFC cards. If you're looking to purchase, sell, or trade, then Rhino Cards is the place for you. Details are coming on some very awesome UFC card giveaways, thanks to Rhino Cards as well. That's Rhino Cards, conveniently located in St. Petersburg, on 4th Street and 11th Avenue North.
I'm very excited to announce that Knockout Radio finally has our very own Challenge Coin, thanks to Challenge Coin Country. Challenge Coin Country is a family-run business with over 17 years' experience making custom challenge coins, lapel pins, bottle openers, keychains, and many other custom products. They even produced 2 different variations for us, one for military recipients and a slightly different coin for civilians. I strongly suggest you check them out at challengecoincountry.com with free express shipping, and they proudly offer discounts for first responders and military as well. That's Challenge Coin Country at challengecoincountry.com. I'm very excited to announce that Knockout Radio finally has our very
Experience the charming Country Depot gift shop located in the heart of downtown Brooksville, located at 36 North Broad Street. From sports memorabilia to antiques, from handbags to one-of-a-kind art and decor, the Country Depot has it all. Check them out at countrydepot.com, Country Depot on Facebook, or stop by the store at 36 North Broad Street in downtown Brooksville. Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
Hi, this is Todd Washington, and you're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris.
All right, we are back from locations all over, right now, all over Florida. I mean, we should reach out to Leslie, who's in Scotland. In a couple of weeks, I'll be in Vegas, but this is our inaugural audio video stream on Facebook, on YouTube, and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun if I could just get some decent help at a house in Tampa.
What are you talking about? What did I do?
We're going to go over this again.
What, the little liner thing?
Running the wrong running. You didn't fix the music. You practiced.
It's the only video you sent me. It's the only link I got.
You were supposed to rewind it back to the beginning, Chuckles.
Well, that's above my pay grade.
Mick is now, because Mick is so upset, he's offered to give you your next haircut for free, and he can't wait to do it.
Not with the way his hands were shaking. You see that? Like the whole camera was like, I was like, man, I don't know if the fan was so intense in the room that it was like blowing his hand around, or if he's got some neurological things going on. But I don't want to mess up my beautiful.
I talked to Dave Feltman yesterday, and he is going to send us a autographed poster from the upcoming New Jersey card, which has now been added. Frankie Edgar has been added to that card, and we're going to have Mike Straka on here in the second hour to talk about that. But also on that card is Jessica Borga, who is going to be on the show, I think either next week or the week after. And we're going to go over and shoot a little video, or a big video, or a short or long video out at the gym. We've been out there before doing it.
Shift MMA.
Yeah, it's Shift. So she's sponsored by Get Slept, and she has her own shirt. We're going to talk about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Jessica Borga coming up, hopefully Frankie Edgar coming up, Mike Perry coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to be there. I know Tony will be. I'll be out in Vegas 4 or 5 UFC events that week. So I am looking forward to that. Anything that you want to talk about from Saturday night's UFC before we move forward, even though Victory Wednesday is coming up in the second hour, and Drakkar Klose will be on to talk about his very impressive win over Edson Barbosa.
No, I think we covered the UFC pretty well over the weekend. We spend more time on it than we do usually. So,
well, but we did that. Good. We did that off the show. I'm saying, is there anything that you want to touch base on the show, on the broadcast, on the stream? Any fights that stick out? How I forget who the referee was, but stood him, in the main event, stood him up on more than one occasion, which I found interesting. Because
was it Mark Goddard? Was it Mark?
I think that's who it was.
I think it was. No, I think I was surprised that there was 2 spinning elbows for knockouts
back to back.
I mean, in the same fight, back to back. That wasn't, back in the day when the UFC was started, most of the fights ended in like rear naked choke or in triangles. I don't remember the last time someone got caught in a triangle. I mean, has that puzzle piece been cracked? I mean, has that code been cracked now?
Well, mainly because Chael Sonnen hasn't fought lately. Nothing. Nothing.
No, I mean,
not humorous.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like, as the sport evolves, people aren't going to get, submitted by the same things like they used to, right? I mean, spinning elbows is a new weapon. I mean, because I don't remember spinning elbow knockouts in the past. Do you?
Certainly not in back-to-back, so no.
Yeah, but you got to find new ways to win. I mean, like the flying mousetrap from Demetrius Johnson, and you've got different ways. I mean, spinning back fist or Superman punches. So it's good to see the evolution of how to get your opponent out of there.
The best part, well, obviously the best part of about the spinning back elbow, back flip, back turn, 3D lamb, etc., was He asked for the fight. He asked for the bonus. And within seconds, Joe Rogan got it in his earpiece that he got the bonus and he's going to fight in Rio in like 2 months. That was pretty fun. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And happy for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was good. It was a great fight card. I mean, I'm glad I like it when the UFC travels. I like it when it goes to like Chicago as opposed to the Apex or just staying in Vegas every time. It's nice to see it on the road.
Why? Why does that matter to you when you don't go to them? It's you watching it on TV. So whether it's in the Apex, whether it's in Chicago, Tampa, Rio, you're watching from the same seat in your house.
Yeah, but there's like they always have the build-up videos and like the setup videos where they do B footage or B-roll footage around the city, landmarks and attractions and food, and so it's cool because you get to see like the city at a glimpse, and then it entices people to want to go there.
I don't think so.
You don't think Chicago's like during the summertime, July in Chicago, July 4th specifically? I don't know if there's a better city to be in America than 4th of July
in Chicago. Okay, first of all, I'm going to disagree with you. Second of all, I don't think watching a fight makes me want to go to Chicago. I'm not saying I don't want to go to Chicago, but watching the fight in Chicago, even though they say it all the time. You know, I remember when the NCAA was here in Tampa and they were like, look at all the free publicity. People are going to want to flock here because they see boats in the harbor. I don't know if that's the case, but as you know, and we've talked about this before, I'll go to certain fights that is in certain cities. And with that said, let's go to our next guest who is not on video. He's got to get on video. Get on video, big man.
But while you're waiting for that to load, but when the F1 series, the Grand Prix is in St. Pete, and they showcase worldwide the downtown St. Petersburg track and on the ocean with the bay and the water, people didn't know that was St. Pete, Florida.
Yeah, you're right.
They didn't know that. They didn't know that St. Pete was so majestic and so beautiful, and like had a harbor and had a marina with boats and yachts, and I mean, it really put St. Pete on a map globally just because of a sporting event.
No, I mean, you're right. That's true. That's true.
Oh, I got it. You're right on the first episode of Knockout Radio streamed.
We can edit that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. There it goes.
Well, no, I mean, there is some truth to that. Just by watching the fight, you didn't necessarily say about the surroundings. You were saying by them being in Chicago, it's going to make you want to go to Chicago.
Or just be informed about what is offered, you know, the North Shore and the running trails and the rollerblading and you know, Soldier Field. And I mean, there's a lot to do in Chicago, you know, like the aquarium up there is like legendary, world class. So not really sure what there is to do in Houston. Maybe, have you ever been to Houston, Randy?
Yeah, I've been to Houston. There was a Super Bowl there. Matter of fact, I took Eve Edwards to the Super Bowl there.
Okay.
There was, I believe, an All-Star game there. So yeah,
I know we were supposed to go to a UFC fight there. I believe it was the Toyota Center. Is that the name of the arena? The Toyota Center.
Sure.
But then there was a hurricane, and we couldn't get out of town. It was.
There we go. There's our guest. Let's welcome to the program. It's been a long time coming. Our good friend.
Fresh.
How you guys doing, man? It's good to be back.
Let's do this. Make that bigger. You know what you're supposed to be doing here, Matt. Fix that.
What do you mean do? Okay.
Our guest is supposed to get.
I got him. Oh. Hold on.
Live on the radio, and we're watching Matt screw things up.
What are you talking about? Hold on. Easy. Take it easy.
Live on the interweb.
Yeah. So Caleb, what's up?
Man, nothing much, you know. Just another beautiful day in paradise. Can't complain too much. How you guys doing?
We are fantastic.
And the UFC fight you were talking about was Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis fought in Houston. a few years ago. And he fought I think it was the Russian guy, and he got knocked out, unfortunately.
What'd you think of the fight Saturday?
I mean, like me and you spoke earlier, and I told you I didn't really believe DDP as a champion.
He proved you right.
Yeah. There's just, I don't know, there's a feeling you get when somebody wins. You know, I get that feeling with Hamzat. I got it with Izzy when he first won. I had it with Kamaru. There are just certain guys, man. You just believe them as champions. Like when Bilal won his belt, I didn't believe it. Even when Leon Edwards won his belt, I was like, okay, you got a fluke kick, to win that fight, which was still one of my biggest heartbreaks I've ever experienced in UFC.
I remember.
But, yeah, it was a very sad day for me. But certain guys, you just believe that they're gonna make a run and they're gonna defend it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And I feel like Hamzat's one of those guys because he's got like a terrifying skill that nobody can seem to deal with at the moment. So, yeah, I believe him more than I believe DDP. DDP's a really good fighter.
What bothers me, and we talked about it before the fight, is they're blaming Khamzat on winning. They're not blaming, DDP, Dricus, by not being able to stop. I talked to a friend of mine, Jay Retcher, out at the Bucks today, and he's like, you had all this time to prepare to stop the takedowns.
Yeah.
Spread your feet out, do this, do that. He didn't do any of that stuff.
Exactly. It's ridiculous to me, people who complain. I understand that, like, everybody that might not be your cup of tea as far as how they fight or how they perform. But, I mean, it's efficient, Floyd Mayweather, everybody didn't like him because he was a defensive fighter, but he never lost. So what are you really going to complain about? Complain about the guys fighting him, and they should go beat him. Get off the ground.
Matt?
Yeah, so I'm looking at Caleb wearing a Philadelphia Eagles shirt in their inaugural broad stream of Knockout Radio. So my big thing is I got a map behind me, if you see in my background. So where are you from, Caleb? I know you're from Africa. I know you spent time in Texas. You played for UCLA. You've traveled around. You lived in Tampa. Where do you call home?
Where do I call home? I mean, I call Houston, Texas home.
Well, that's where you live now.
That's where I live.
Right.
But wait, where's your mentality from? What culture, what community do you vibe with the most that made you who you are?
Okay, so I like to say it like this. I got my roots in Africa. Both my parents are African. Everybody in my family is born in Africa outside of my nieces and nephews. They're all Nigerian-born people. And so I get my roots from there. I get my morals from there. But I like to say I got my stripes in Texas, they're very similar cultures in a way where it's, big families, family first, be kind to people, help people, very faith oriented. So I would like to say I got my roots in Africa, in Nigeria, and I got my stripes in Texas.
So Katy, Texas is your home?
Yeah, Katy, Texas is home. Katy, Texas is home. Nigeria is where I was born. Nigeria is where I was born. Katie's where I was raised.
Well, but again, you got to pick one. Where do you want your mark on the map? Do you want Nigeria or do you want Katy, Texas?
Oh, I gotta pick Nigeria. I mean, I have.
Hello, Matt. Hello.
I have to pick Nigeria. If you're gonna make me boil it down to one, I gotta pick Nigeria. Yeah.
All right. So, second question: are you okay with the recent passing of Hulk Hogan? With us?
No, he's not okay with it. Hold on.
With
Matt, hold on a second. No, he's not okay with the death of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I'm not okay with any death.
But are you okay with us changing the city of brotherly love to Clearwater, Florida, the real city of brotherly love, and taking it away from Philadelphia because they booed Santa Claus? So how can they be lovely when they boo an icon?
So I think my understanding of the city of brotherly love was that was a sarcastic thing because I thought the people in Philly were kind of assholes and they were notorious for that. So I thought the brotherly love this whole time was sarcastic.
Hold on one sec. Caleb, remember, I'm from Philadelphia.
Well, yeah, and you're an asshole, Randy.
Oh,
wow. You're proving my point.
Oh, wow.
But you're a lovable asshole. That's why we love you.
I think we're not supposed to talk like that because we're still on regular FCC radio as well.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay. I didn't know a-hole was still a bad word. Things change so much these days.
I think you can say a-hole. I don't think you
A-hole? Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I would like to see them do like a Hogan Boulevard, or say what you want about Hulk Hogan, because again, we have revisionist history. The older we get about things, he was one of the reasons like the WWE wrestling was as big as it was. You can say, oh, he doesn't have the moves like Shawn Michaels. Well, neither did the Undertaker, okay? But he was a great personality. I like to separate art from artists, right? Like Terry Bollea had some mishaps and he said some things that he probably shouldn't have said. But the same way I don't believe Joe Rogan is a racist, the same way I don't believe Hulk Hogan's a racist, the same way I don't believe just because somebody says something at a certain point in time or gets taken out of context, or you hear private messages that were not meant to be public about somebody, I'm not going to string you up and hang you for that. Like, no, it's just, it happened. He apologized. I'll take him at face value. And I don't know the guy personally. I just know what he did on screen for me as a kid and kids like me who grew up on wrestling and who love that stuff. It was definitely a sad day. And I'm not going to knock somebody after they pass away for whatever you thought that they might have did or said or however that made you feel. I just kind of let that, water off a duck's back. When I met him at Bucks camp some years ago, he seemed really, really nice and just seemed like a genuine person. It took a lot of time out, to come and spend time with us and talk to the guys and talk to the players. And it's really cool when you see other pro athletes kind of see a guy get starstruck. That's what it was like when Hogan came into the building. Guys really enjoyed watching him. Like grown men who were 30 years old with kids were fanboying over Hulk Hogan because he meant that much to your childhood. So, definitely he's going to leave a mark. Unfortunately, some people are going to think about the bad. I think about the good, man. So they should definitely get like a boulevard.
It's funny that you said, well, it's not funny, when you're talking about Hogan when he came over there. When we did the charity event with Kevin Carter and Ric Flair was there. And when Diamond Dallas Page walked in, the original DDP, he got a bigger pop than Ric Flair did. Drew Brees and all those guys that were there, they're like, is that Diamond Dallas Page?
Yeah.
So it's that wrestling thing that I think it's because football players are used to being around football players. Basketball players you're not used to being around those guys that we've all watched growing up as kids. That's different than what we're doing for a living.
Yeah. Everywhere I've been that a wrestler, especially one of those icons, have come in, the athletes, like you see like some of the biggest stars just start to fanboy out because like we all remember being, when we were 10, 11, 9 and kayfabe was the biggest thing. And like I remember the day my uncle told me like, hey, like it's not real that they picked the winners. And I didn't believe him for like 3 years. I fought him tooth and nail. I was like, you're lying to me. Everything that happens, I was like, he's really getting married on TV right now.
So speaking of being scripted and not being real, Hogan got a lot of criticism for like his leg drop was his only real move, his signature move. So as a fellow 300-pound man falling to the ground as a professional athlete, how hard is it just to do any kind of landing on a hard surface?
I'm going to change it. I'm going to change the question just a little because Matt and I argued this the other day, and this will fit the question I think even better. Matt was saying how athletic and the bruises and the bangs, and he was basically saying, he'll deny it now, but he was basically saying that's harder on the body than being a lineman in the NFL.
I wouldn't go that far to say taking a leg drop is worse than being a lineman in the NFL, but I will say to do the kind of acrobatic things they do and to land on hard ground like that and to kind of not just protect yourself or protect the person you're with, it's very difficult. And it's a very athletic thing. And wrestling in general is an incredibly demanding sport. Listen, like, again, some guys are a lot more low impact than others, like your Gunthers and like your Roman Reigns and guys like that. Then you have guys like the Hardy Boys who are jumping off 20 feet. Sure. Like I'm not jumping off a 20-foot ladder and doing a swanton bomb for nothing. So if you want to say that those guys maybe have a more dangerous job than playing offensive line in the NFL, yes. But I don't think that in general it's more difficult or anything like that. It's just different. But those guys are good.
No, I was going to say the one change to what you were saying is you said taking a leg drop. Taking the leg drop was nothing. It's giving the leg drop. It was Terry that got all of that brood of the fall and stuff because the leg drop never, especially today's wrestling, it's so off that you're not going to ever get hit.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I do miss in wrestling though? I miss when everybody used to get beat up in wrestling. Like, the girls would come out there. Stephanie McMahon is getting sweet chin music and getting DDT'd by Randy Orton and RKO'd. I miss when wrestling, everybody just got a piece. Now it's like, oh, the girls come in, they hit the guy. And then the guy's like, well, I can't hit the girl because, we're on. But it's like, dude, we all know it's entertainment.
Yeah, but I'm going to disagree with you. And I'll give Matt the floor in a second. I'm going to disagree with you. Yes, we all know it's entertainment, but we've all been brought up not to hit a female, et cetera, et cetera. Even though I used to argue with some of the UFC guys when we were talking about somebody that did hit a female. And I said, what's the difference? Honestly, what's the difference between an athlete, a male hitting like you? If you were to hit me, it's going to be just as brutal of a beatdown as if you hit a female. So I just, when they say hitting a female, but I just think it gives the wrong impression maybe that it's okay, even though it's scripted, and then it can be taken out of context. Well, I saw it on TV. You blame everything that you see on TV anyway.
Yeah, I got a different school of thought on that. I think parents need to be parents.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think that if you're letting some famous person be a negative or a positive role model in your life and that's your only role model, I understand looking up to people because I did too. We all did when we were younger. But I think parents need to be parents, and you should teach your kids that, like, hey, you don't put your hands on women. You don't put your hands on anybody, honestly.
I used to be sponsored by Xbox. Matt, I think I've told you this story.
Wow.
And they
you weren't friends then, huh?
Oh, it was, you were not here yet. You were probably not even born yet, but that's not my fault. So they would always send me crates, like, of the games before they'd even come out. I remember going to Mike Allstott's house and giving him some games and blah, 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 blah. So I went to give, what's the one where you would steal the car?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. So I offered a copy of Grand Theft Auto to one of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't remember who it was. And you know what he said to me?
What did he
My
say?
son will never play that game because I don't want him to think it's okay to steal cars.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Again, everybody has their style of how they do
like,
things.
what? I said, my son and daughter have played it forever. They've never stolen a car.
Exactly. Like, I don't believe that. I think, like, again, age appropriateness, obviously I don't give it to like an 8-year-old, but like when that kid gets old enough, because they're going to get exposed to these things anyway. It's literally impossible to stop your kids getting exposed to negative things. So the best course of action is to teach them, like, hey, this is why we don't do this. Hey, this isn't real. This is real. This is okay. This is not okay. And I just feel like, live and let live. You can't coop people up in a little bubble and think, oh, he didn't get to play this game, so he's never going to commit a crime. Like, he might want to commit a crime more.
I didn't get to steal the car on the game, so I'm going to go steal one for real.
Exactly. What's that old saying? They said that the preacher kids are always bad because they never get to do anything. Then they leave the house and go crazy. It's kind of one of those, everything should be controlled and you should let your kids make mistakes and, hopefully it's mistakes they can recover from. But yeah, live and let live, man.
Now, as we evolve as a race and society and people, things change. And so when you hear like men should never hit a woman, that was set in stone before Ronda Rousey's, before Amanda Nunez's, before Christina Ferrara's and Jessica Borga's. At the weight class, there's arguments that some of these women would beat the champion of men's division in the
no
same
chance
sport, in the cage.
No chance.
You don't think
no. I would put
Henry
up
Cejudo.
No, I think Henry Cejudo will destroy Amanda Nunes and he'll make pretty quick work of her. I'm sorry, I can't. No. I think it'll take multiple Amanda Nunes to stop Henry Cejudo from doing whatever he wants. Now, if you said Amanda Nunes versus
me,
a 14-year-old boy who's her size, then we might have a conversation. And I wouldn't even put that much money on Amanda Nunes. Men are just bigger, stronger, on average, 99%, So I don't think there's that story, Juliana Pena, she was on TV talking about when she was working at Starbucks, something like that. And she got into it with a male coworker of hers. And she said, and she was already fighting at the time. She was a champion in a lesser, promotion. She said she went out back to go fight this guy, and he knocked her on her butt like 4 times, and she gave up. And the guy doesn't fight, doesn't train. He's just a regular dude. So no, I don't. I like to keep I think those things are separate. Again, are there some tough women out there? Are there some women who can probably beat up some men out there? Yes, but on average, I just don't. I think it'll take 15 Amanda Nunes to stop me from doing something I need to do. I think it'll take a lot of them.
Well, and the problem with that, kind of like the big street fight, Matt, that you and I have talked about, with Tito Ortiz and Lee Murray and whatever, when all those guys were running towards Chuck Liddell, it was like the Japanese movie. They came one at a time, not all 12 at the same time. That's what they need to do. You need to do 12 on one, not 1-on-1 12 times.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, I don't think. Do you guys remember that old lady who used to get all the Dudley bombs? Remember her from WWF?
Was that Moolah?
I can't remember her name, but she was really old, and she'd be out there taking some of the craziest bumps from the ladders. It was so impressive. Like I remember, I used to be like, I can't believe it did that to the old lady.
Yeah. All right. So I have a question for both of you guys. All right.
Yes, sir.
So, what dream matchup that we could never have? And if we have time today, if not, we'll do it. Down the road. We got to get away from the GOAT name and all that kind of stuff. But if you could have a dream matchup, both in their prime, male, female, doesn't matter. Let's stick with MMA, UFC, whatever. Mm-hmm. What one is the first one that comes to mind? Either one of you go first, or I can go first. I'll tell you what I would like to see.
I got John Jones as GSP.
Well, no, I'm saying it's got to be real. It's got to be, we know John Jones would beat GSP. But I'm saying like mine
some people like to debate me on that still, that he's the GOAT. So I just, so yeah.
And who's the GOAT?
That John Jones. He's the greatest UFC fighter of all
time. They're arguing that he's not.
Some people do. Some people argue he's GSP or Khabib.
Yeah. Well, again, let's stick with the same weight class.
Same weight class? Okay.
And I'm going to go with the first one that came to my mind. Matt, I'll ask you next. I want Anderson Silva against Israel. Both in their primes.
Yeah.
Prime on prime.
Yeah.
I think Anderson Silva is that guy.
I do too.
Prime, that would be a fight I would like to see. Matt, is there one that comes to your mind?
Yeah, I'm going to go Matt Hughes versus Christopher Reeves because both of them stopped to train. And I want to see who's the real Superman.
Oh, my God, you are so stupid. I will take Matt Hughes today to still beat your ass.
That's probably true. I would like to, but I would like to go back to see that. I think Tony Ferguson, when he was the boogeyman, he never got that fight with Khabib. I always wanted to see that fight that never played out. And then once he started on the losing streak, he just kind of kept going, and his mental kind of maybe like a Ronda Rousey. It was never really the same fighter after the loss. But I would like to see that Khabib Ferguson fight.
Caleb?
Well, then if I had to stick with the same weight class, then I probably would say Kamaru and GSP. I think that Kamaru fought better fighters. I think the weight class is better. And again, it's like Kamaru with his injuries and his knees. To see, honestly, after what Khamzat did to Dricus in the fight, it lets me know how much more impressive that Kamaru and Khamzat fight was on 2 weeks' notice.
I agree.
With a guy who just dominates everybody. Like I don't think Khamzat's had a close fight really.
I
except
agree.
For Kamaru.
I thought about putting Kamaru in one of those dream fights, but it wouldn't be against GSP. My dream fight then would be Matt Hughes versus Kamaru.
Okay.
That
new movie The Rock is making, who's the fighter he's making it about? It's not Mark Hunt, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, not Mark Hunt. It's God, I'm having a brain. It'll come to me. Kerr.
Mark Kerr. Okay, yeah, the Smashing Machine. That looks interesting.
It's Mark Kerr and Ryan Bader is playing Coleman.
Every time you say Ryan Bader, I just think about him in DC going back and forth.
I was there. I was sitting on the end as Ryan walked by and went up to the stage, and I'm like, this is going to go down right now. But, it got to a point, we were talking about WWE and scripted and stuff. How much of that was real and how much was it scripted? Because that's how you got fights. Look now. you get fights because you do stuff like that to help sell the fight, which is real.
Yeah, I think that's all. Honestly, there's like one palpable that I could tell those guys weren't joking around. John Jones and DC, you could tell they weren't joking around.
No, that was real.
You can tell like they hated each other. But I think for the most part, I think guys might not like each other. I think it's like any kind of sport. But there's a healthy respect for somebody who can go into that octagon with you and fight.
We're going to keep you one more segment. We're at the top of the hour, so we're going to hit the break at the FCC station, and we're just going to continue chatting on the YouTube and Facebook. So coming to you live from the Pinellas County Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility, this is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Stapson. Where did Caleb run off to?
I don't know.
I'm running.
Hi, this is Bear Root of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're talking sports with Randy
Bring
Harris.
your video back.
Bills and looking for work, but nobody.
Okay, give me 1 second.
All right,
So it is.
All right, so we're just going to keep rapping here. So what up, Matt?
Yeah, hold on. So DJ Tony's on the YouTube. He brought up the Undertaker versus Mankind Hell in a Cell match. Would you ever consider doing something like that, Caleb? Would you ever do a Hell in the Cell match?
You would have to pay me an exuberant amount of money to do something like that. That is so.
Will we ever see anything like that? Will we ever see anything like that in the future? I mean, is fighting safety and wrestling safety?
No, I don't think so. I think like things are too. I think things are too mainstream now. I think that was a time period where things like that could happen with the people used to show color a lot more and bleed, and there used to be a lot more of those dangerous things going on. I just think now it's such big business and it's such entertainment. I mean, they got like Slim Jim on the canvas now. Like it's, I feel like the old man screaming at the wind, but no, I think those days are over. I think now it's just purely entertainment. I think the long form storyline has really, really caught on with the whole bloodline thing. And I think they're trying to find the next spark for that. I think that's kind of the direction the WWE is going into. I don't think that they're going to be doing 20-foot drops off the top of the cage anymore. I just don't see it happen.
I'm going to be partly hypocritical right now because I'm so over, the bloodline. I'm so what's the one with Mysterio? What do they call themselves?
I don't remember. I know you're talking about that group, like not the NWO or something like that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm so over it. I can't stand it. But I could watch The Shield 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 years.
I could watch the Bloodline like that. I thought the Bloodline was amazing storytelling.
Well, I just thought it was always. But at least The Shield came in as 3. So it's not like they snuck up later. It was those 3 that would attack whatever. The Bloodline, it's 1-on-1, and then all of a sudden it's 19-on-1.
That's what made people. The fact that you hate it is part of the gig.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Like it's part of the gig.
No, absolutely.
People hated him. Now they love him. And like me and you talked about Roman Reigns a long time ago. I told you I thought he was, when I was making some statements about Patrick Mahomes all those years ago. I said I think Roman Reigns is the GOAT. I love Roman Reigns and his performance and things of that nature. And you fought me on that one too, but I'm 2 for 2 in that regard.
I don't know if he's the GOAT, but
I mean the greatest title run in 4 years of.
Well, we need this live on the show as well. But to say the greatest title run when it's scripted, it's not like you're out there, and I'm not taking anything away from him.
Mm-hmm. But I can say it's the greatest title run because of. He was producing cinema. He produced that during COVID. They couldn't even have people in the stands, and WWE's ratings were going up.
I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm just saying, to use the line, well, he was a champion for 4 years. I mean, that's just because he was selling.
Okay. So I will say he made wrestling cool again.
Absolutely.
I think every man who likes wrestling goes through this. It's like a roller coaster, right? You're young and you believe everything that's going on. And you're like, this is the coolest thing.
We're coming back.
Okay. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
This is Bob the Beast Sapp, and you're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris. I'm going to knock him out.
All right, we're just continuing. We were talking through that top of the hour, so we're joining back the FCC portion with the Tan Talk Radio Network. We've been talking on YouTube, on Facebook, really talking about Roman Reigns and Caleb's man crush for Roman Reigns.
He is a handsome guy, you know. Hey.
I got a question for you, Caleb. All right, so look, there were 3 kings from Africa. At one time, they all had the belt in the UFC. You had Kamaru Usman, you had Francis Ngannou, Izzy Adesanya, with Duplessis losing the belt and Khamzat saying that the belt will never return to Africa. At one time, it seemed like Africa was so dominant in the UFC with champions, and right now we currently have none. So what needs to change, or what were they doing right back then, or they're not doing now? And now with the Performance Institute and going to Africa, will it produce more champions in the future?
I don't really think that there's anything that they're doing wrong per se. I just think that every kind of countries, there's been like this roller coaster of countries having their kind of prime and stay in the UFC. Like, you know, like Ireland had its big moment with Conor, and they had like a little spark with Ian Gary. You know, London is trying to make their name with Molly and Paddy Pimblett and the big heavyweight. I can't remember his name right now. Who's Aspinall. You know, Dagestan had their time. You know, with Habib and Islam, and you know, New Zealand, you could say, had their time with Kai Kara France and Volkanovski and Izzy. And so, you know, I think that these countries have kind of their waves, and Africa had a good run for about 4 years, having 3 division champs. You know, so now we just got to find some new blood. You know, Kamaru's not getting any younger. I don't know if he's going to get another real title run. Izzy kind of seems like he's on the back end of his career as well, and he's just kind of going out there to fight and entertain. He's not really peak Izzy anymore. And, you know, we'll never see, I don't think we'll ever see Francis back in the UFC. So, I mean, he's still doing his thing, but he's just not as big a star now that he's gone. So, I mean, we'll just, I think it's just kind of one of those things that it goes through its ebbs and flows. So we'll have some guys back on top soon, hopefully.
And hopefully the United States will have some guys back on top soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are they at?
You know, think about it. How many? I don't think there's many. If what American is a UFC champion?
I don't think any. John might have been, you know, the only one.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, some of these guys are born in the U.S., but they're just like, oh, my roots are here. And so they, you know, they claim a certain place. And so then that also takes things into account also.
How come, let me ask both of you this, and we are talking to Caleb Benenot, who is a guest today, but when he returns, he will be a regular. So we're giving you the guest portion for the first time back in years. Yeah. And then you're going to be part of the show again. I told somebody out at $1 today what you told me, which I find pretty funny. I'll let you tell the story when I think it was Alex Kappa asked you a question about a media person in the locker room.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think I said something along the lines of, oh, you know, like, Randy's one of the guys. He's harmless. You know, we just come and go on a show to kind of shoot this shit and
shoot the ship. He said ship. S-H-I-P.
Shoot the ship and, you know, get some free wings or something like that. It's just a fun hang, you know? So, yeah, when Kappa asked me.
Well, no, tell everybody what Kappa said about me. Who's the
grandpa? Who's
the old guy over there?
Yeah. Because Randy would always come up and talk to me. And then I remember Kappa was sitting next to my locker, and he used to be like, yeah, who's the grandpa? Who's the old guy who always comes up there and talks to you? I was like, oh, Randy. I was like, oh, Randy. I'm like, oh, dude, Randy's harmless. Because literally,
I had the same thing happen 2 weeks ago with King Mo, and he was like, don't you do a radio show with some old guy like Randy something? And I'm like, yes, I do.
I'll be honest with you. The worst part of our day as like going to work every day was after practice. We're all showering and trying to decompress after games too. And the media just floods in. You have no time to put your drawers on. There's female reporters, God bless them. You know, and we're just it's supposed to be a very private moment. Like I might have had a bad practice or a bad game. I want to talk to my boys next to me, go over some things before we go into meetings, and then you hear people just rush in there and just kind of invade your space. And so, yeah, it's not always guys are very guarded when media comes in, especially if you're just coming in, just kind of standing around, and people feel like you're snooping. So I have to vouch for Randy and be like, "Oh, nah, he's not gonna say anything to anybody, bro." He's like, "You're good."
I would like to pose the question: does the same standards apply for a women's locker room? That male reporters cannot go in there until the females are fully dressed?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. I don't know why you'd want to go in there as a man. I would feel uncomfortable going into that space.
I don't have a problem with it, but I remember the old years, and I'm another old guy in the Bucks locker room where, you know, I saw that, and some guys really didn't care. They didn't even bother with the towel. You know, they just kind of walked past, and that gets some of the female reporters not looking at the microphone.
That's that's done on purpose.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was trying to jump in to say that. A lot of guys, and Ed's being very nice because Ed knows, and we know who the couple of the people were. They did it on purpose, trying to make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, we tell certain guys who we know can be a bit distracting. We say, "Hey, the reporters are here. You should just go ahead and."
Those are the real fullbacks.
Yeah, we know the guys who are going to be distracting. We'll be like, "Hey, just drop your towel. Maybe we can clear this area out a bit quicker." It's definitely on purpose.
Any Caucasians on that short list?
Well, I heard about Nick Foles, but I don't know him personally, so I can't confirm or deny.
This conversation surely went south real quick. So I guess the most important question to ask, and we certainly do appreciate your time, and like I said, hopefully we can do this on a regular basis. Where are we going to eat on the 15th, and where are we going to eat on the 16th?
Okay, so I have to curate because you're not really like a fancy food type of guy. You know, that's not your thing. And I'm pretty sure you've been to Pappadeaux. That's a Southern staple, Texas staple. You've been to Pappadeaux, correct?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, we'll go to Pappadeaux. In Texas is a great place to go. Big chain restaurant. Lots of seafood. Really, really good seafood. So we'll do Pappadeaux. And like, you're not really a steakhouse guy. But I'll find something kind of native to Houston. That, like, you know, because like, it used to be Turkey Leg Hut, but that's not really a thing anymore. So I'll find something that's native, and I'll take you and we'll get some food.
Caleb, I think what you're really trying to say is Randy's more of a dollar menu kind of guy.
Definitely free. Randy's more of a gift card. It's free. Let's go get some food, guys.
So, Caleb, I have a Pappadeaux story out of Denver. I learned a lesson about lobsters by going there, but the guy I was with, he ordered the biggest lobster in the tank. It was literally like a 7-pound lobster or something crazy, but the meat was terrible. It was slimy. It wasn't a good experience. Where my 2-pound lobster was flawless, like the texture, the flavor. So, you know, it's one of those life lessons where it's like, you know, just because something's bigger or more grandiose, it doesn't make it better, right? It's like that sweet spot between balance, texture, flavor, portions. So, but it was great. Best lobster I ever had was that.
I don't eat chickens that are too big. If I get wings and they're too big, like jumbo wings, they creep me out because I'm just like, I know the chickens don't get that big. So I have a thing with that too. Like anything that's like any food that's like supersized, other than steak, because like you can just like cut a bigger piece of the cow from a certain area. But like, you know, if I get like a chicken wing and it's like humongous, like a drumstick almost, I'm just like, I'm not eating that. That has steroids in it.
Real quick food story. So I made a MMA, UFC / whatever bet with a player. And I don't remember. I think it was Damian Maia versus somebody. And I took Damian Maia. Damian Maia won. And the bet was for dinner anywhere the winner wanted to go.
Okay.
And I'll ask the two of you, where do you think Damian Maia won? So I picked. Where do you think I picked in the Tampa Bay area?
Burns Steakhouse or Charlie's?
Right, Burns or Charlie's?
Nah, I'm not. Leroy Selman's or Culver's.
Or Culver's. I went to Corral. Well, it's close to Golden Corral. I went to the Brazilian place over by International.
Oh, Texas de Brazil or Fogo?
Texas de Brazil, right.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
Yeah, right?
That's like Texas de Brazil, to get some good steaks and good meats and good protein, eat a little salad if you want to. It's a great price, man. It's like $60.
No. You don't eat salad if you want to. You don't go to Texas de Brazil and even go up to the salad bar.
I don't. I'm straight on green, and we're doing green until I can't breathe anymore, and then I head home. But
we were in Ohio, and I went out with a bunch of the UFC judges and refs, as we always do on Friday, and we went to the Brazilian steakhouse, to the Texas de Brazil. And as soon as we sat down, I put it on green, and they wouldn't bring me meat. They're like, nope, you got to do the salad bar. I go, I'm not going to the salad bar. I'm not getting help.
Can't force me to eat vegetables. You're not my mother.
Not I want no part of it. Green, let's go.
So Caleb, there's a new biohacking hack where they're 3D printing meat now. It's made out of beets and other ingredients, but it's a 3D printed meat that looks like meat. It's a better source because there's no hormones. You're not eating a diseased metabolic cow that's already got, marbling in the meat. So thoughts on it? Would you try it? Is it something you
keep your thought. Hold on. Keep your thought. Let's hit this break. Let's stay on schedule, and we'll find out if Caleb will eat a fake printed meat. It sounds ridiculous, but we'll talk about it when we return. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Staff Zone.
This is Michael Clayton from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today.
All right, well, we could be talking, guys.
Yeah, Caleb, where are you at? You still there?
He's going to get my room ready. Making sure that there's going to be chocolates on the pillow. I think I told you, Matt, I'm taking Caleb to Eve Edwards.
Okay. Yeah, you said that.
I think he hung up. Oh, there he is.
There you go, Caleb. I want Caleb to see the
all right, save it.
Scientists. Okay.
Never mind, dude. There's no chance.
Well, if you were hungry.
No. Well, I mean, okay, if I'm starving and there's nothing else.
Right.
Okay, yeah, sure. Then I'll eat a person if that's the case.
I've said that before. I almost had to eat Matt once.
Like, if there's like zero options, like, okay, yeah, well, then you put me into a hole. But willingly, no. I don't even like Beyond Meat.
Yeah, I had it once. I won't have it again unless I'm starving.
Yeah, all that stuff is just it's bad for you. I don't care what anybody says. You can talk about red meat all you want to. Like a hormone cow is better than eating soy 20 times a day. And everybody's body's different, so I understand some people can't. Like, you get inflammation if you eat red meat, things of that nature. But animal protein is better than plant. Most plants you're not even supposed to eat, to be completely honest with you.
It's true.
Or
last week we asked Tim Elliott. We asked Tim Elliott last week on, if he would ever eat 3D printed meat. And he was like, nope, I'm from Kansas City. We're going to eat real meat.
Yeah.
But if the cow's been injected. But if it's been injected with hormones, like which one's a performance-enhancing drug? Is it the 3D printed meat that's clean, or is it the animal meat that's got steroids in it that the human eats, the tissue, and benefits from the hormones?
I'll tell you like this.
You're listening to Knockout Radio.
All right, we're back coming to you live from our studios. Now it's not just across Florida. We're in Texas as well. We're branching out. Our real co-host is, next week he'll be our real co-host. Right now he is our guest, Caleb Benenot, checking in. It's been a while, and I hope things are going good out there in Texas.
Man, things are amazing, man. Things are amazing. Getting the house all nice and done, and just happy. Taking them next steps in life, and yeah, but I miss Texas. It's great to be back. I do miss Florida, though. I miss Florida. I miss fishing every day. That
Yeah,
was the first time.
so do I, because Kelly's in Alaska.
Yeah, he is. I need to go out there. My couch gets delivered here finally this couple weeks, and I'm gonna head to Alaska and go hang out and go catch some big fish.
Do you miss playing football? Certainly you don't miss practicing and all that. And they've always said, all of you athletes have said, the only thing you miss is the locker room with the guys. Is that the case
Yeah.
with you as well?
I miss the guys. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the competition, but I don't miss competing on the field. Like, my body is absolutely cooked and done. I do old man workouts. I've not put a squat rack on my back in over a year. But I miss the offensive line dinners. I miss the trips. I miss traveling with the guys, being on the plane, being on the bus rides, celebrating together. That's what I miss. But as far as like wanting to play, no, I don't miss that.
Sorry, Matt, let me just ask this and then I'll throw it your way. Are you still a fan of football, and are you a fan of any particular team? I mean, obviously you've got roots in Tampa, but you played a couple other places. Or are you like somebody like Styles G. White, who picked a favorite team that he never played for?
I'm still a huge fan of football. I love watching football. I love everything football. Like, I spend most of my day listening to Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright talk about sports, so I love sports. I love football. Favorite team, I don't really have one. I have players I like to watch. There are guys who make me turn the TV on and want to watch them. Everybody knows my favorite player is Patrick Mahomes. I don't care that he was a peer. I don't care that I played against him. He's my favorite player. To me, he's the greatest player I've ever seen play football. I'll probably say Lamar Jackson makes turn the TV on as well. Josh Allen makes turn the TV on. There's certain teams I like to watch and see kind of how certain players are playing. And then if there's a good game on, I'll just turn it on and watch, because I can enjoy, I'll find a player that I like on that team and I'll just watch him, focus on him the whole game. And so, yeah, definitely miss it, definitely enjoy it, but I do not miss actually physically playing. No, my body is.
So along that line, what are your thoughts on Frankie Edgar coming out of retirement, former Hall of Famer, UFC Hall of Famer, former lightweight champion, coming back to the squared circle to fight bare knuckle? Like, what do you think it is about the combat sport world that makes people want to go back through that life cycle or that career path again?
Money. I think that's a big thing for people who unretire a lot of times, but also fighting is a bit different than sports. Football is different than kind of almost any sport, because football is not something you can just go play. If you do it at the highest level, you're not just gonna go outside and just go play flag football for fun. People could play pickup basketball for fun or to stay in shape. Or he might still be doing jujitsu because that's what he's done his whole life, and he's going to go roll. I'm not just going to go take pass sets for no reason. It's not like a skill that I really need anymore. If I need to teach somebody, that's one thing. But jujitsu is still always a thing you can do. Spar is always a thing you can do. That's not really giving him damage that he can still go out there and do and be in shape and still have a love for it. So it's one of those things that you can still do as a workout just to enjoy. You don't really work out for football. You train weights, you train speed, and you do position-specific drills to kind of get better at it. You don't just go play. People don't just go like, oh, I'm just going to go take pass sets today. It's just not a thing. But people go do jiu-jitsu, people go spar, and, so I think it's something that, like, it's a different kind of thing for fighters. Right.
Caleb, have you ever seen a 300-plus man do jiu-jitsu?
I haven't seen it, but Brock Lesnar was 300 pounds at one time, and he did jiu-jitsu.
I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it on the 16th of whatever next month is.
Oh, when I do it?
Yeah. When we go roll with Eve Edwards. So just letting you know, just get prepared.
The last time I went and did jiu-jitsu, I think I was like the first time I did it, I was in 6th grade. I might as well do this story, but I'm like 5'9", like 206 pounds in 6th grade, right? I'm a big 6th grader. And so when I go to this gym, my uncle got me the gi and everything. So I have the gi on and I have my white belt, and we're going in there and we're doing whatever. And there's this little Asian dude who's working with me. He didn't know that I was 12 years old because I'm big. right? So he thought I knew what I was doing, and he ends up getting on my back and using the gi to choke me out. But I don't know that I'm supposed to tap. So I just black out and wake up to people standing around me like, "Hey, dude, are you okay?" And my uncle's like, "What the heck are y'all doing? He's 12." And I'm like, "That guy's 12?" They're like, "That's an 18-year-old man." And so that's my funny Jesus story. But yeah, I've done some grappling with Lane Johnson some years ago and some stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see if my limbs are still as flexible as they used to be. So I'm excited for that.
Hey, Randy, we got a new viewer. We got a new watcher coming in from New Jersey. Maybe he wants to
enter him in because I can't click it. There we go.
Welcome to the show, Mike Straka, the legendary Mike Straka, MMA insider himself.
It's a big party out there, huh?
Yeah, well, for the inaugural, we got to blow it up full circle. So Mike Straka, also a co-host on the show, then moved back home to New Jersey. He has some inside info on Frankie the Answer Edgar, coming out of retirement, entering BKFC. What is it? October 5th?
October 4th.
October 4th in New Jersey. So
the same night as UFC 319, actually.
Yep, and I will be out there, and I know you've got an appearance that you'll be doing with Misha. But talk to us about that you talked to Frankie.
I had to scold Frankie about that. I'm like, I have to be in Toms River, New Jersey for Misha Tate. I'm going to miss his fight at the Rock at the Prudential Center. But what I would really want to know, the breaking news I heard earlier, Bailey, was that you're not a steakhouse guy, Randy. I'm actually surprised to hear that.
I'm not a high class steakhouse guy.
Oh, you're more of a Texas Longhorn guy? I
am. A Longhorn is our favorite steakhouse. A, it's affordable, and B, we like the steaks. So yeah, I'm just not a big $300 steak guy.
But if you're going to Houston, you gotta go to a steakhouse.
Yeah, I'll take you to Texas. Texas Roadhouse is it's delicious, great food there.
Texas.
Yeah, no. Mikey, check it out. Here it is. There it is. Scientists create first 3D printed Wagyu beef. You don't need the animal cut. Now we have options.
The thing is, you can't call something Wagyu when it's 3D printed. The Wagyu is a process of which you cook it. Like, it's not possible. That's trans beef right there.
I didn't make it up. I'm just sharing the information.
Yeah, I prefer to pass on anything that's trans.
Exactly. 3D printed beef identifying as beef. This is craziness.
Randy, when I was at Fox, I went to a Pride fight at the Saitama Arena in Tokyo, and we actually went to Kobe, Japan, while we were there. And the Kobe beef farms are amazing, and the stuff they do, man, it's cruel, but they're delicious steak. I'm sorry to say.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
I do know a Japanese steakhouse fallacy. So, when we go to these Japanese steakhouses, we've all done it throughout the States. They put on the show, they flip the shrimp in the hat, they do the volcano, all that stuff. So when the UFC was in Japan, when Quentin Rampage Jackson fought Ryan Bader, the UFC PR staff took all the media out to dinner to one of the Japanese steakhouses. And somebody said, "So where's the show?" And they laughed. They go, "That's only in the States. We're just cooking your food. It's not a show here. We're just here to eat." So that's the fallacy of the Japanese steakhouse.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had the same experience at a strip club in Montreal. I said, "Where's the show?" And he said, "No, that's an American thing." I said, "Oh, okay."
And then you said, "Then we're going back to America." So what did Frankie Edgar tell you? What's his reasoning for?
Randy, bringing it right back in, reeling it right back in. No, so I talked to Frankie, and he said the timing's right. He said he feels great, which he does. He looks great. When I was on his podcast a few weeks ago, I told him, "You look better now than when you were fighting." He's 43. He's in great shape. He's been working out every day because he has his own gym now, and it's packed. I went in there one night, and I was like, I couldn't even find a spot in the mat. So he's definitely active. He's still training at Nick Catone's with the big boys, with Eddie Alvarez. Chandler comes down. But one interesting thing about this fight with Jimmy Rivera, a couple years ago, I spent Thanksgiving with Frankie's father-in-law, Jerry. And Jerry used to house a bunch of fighters for Frankie's camps. Chandler was there, Marlon Moraes, Edson Barbosa. and we all went to Nick Catone's gym, and Jimmy Rivera showed up to spar with Frankie. Jimmy was young in his career. He just got into the UFC at that point, but he did very well against Frankie. And, you know, of course, it's just sparring, as you know, Randy. But it was still a really nice, they were going live, and it was a really nice sparring session. So I've got high hopes for this fight, at least to be entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it definitely should be. And obviously it's a name that people are going to tune in. It's just, and Dave Feldman and I have talked about this, and Caleb and Matt, we've talked about this, you know, in previous years. You know, there's a fine line between the name to help sell the card or the event, and you don't necessarily need names for this. You've got what should be the greatest female bare knuckle fight of all time, and Mike Perry fighting, which is hoopla and, you know, all that kind of stuff as well. So when's the right time for a name to come out? Now he just needs to go out and fight, which we know Frankie Edgar can do, and hope that he's not, and he's not, another Luke Rockhold.
Well, yeah. You know, it all remains to be seen. I've seen a lot of negative comments against Frankie coming out, you know, and people who don't even know the guy. Oh, he must need the money. You know, people are so ignorant on the internet.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in, because that pisses me off so much, and all of you guys can jump in as well. Who is anybody, especially a fan, especially media, you know, to tell somebody not to make money? You know, it's and Caleb, you know, was talking, you know, earlier about the difference of fighters to, you know, football players or baseball players. Fighters have fought their whole lives. They've fought in the street. They fought in high school. They fight in the gym. They fight. Why not get paid for it? I have zero problems, you know, with Frankie Edgar going out there and making some money to do whatever he wants with it. It's what he knows. So I'm not against that at all.
You know, so they were talking to Bud Crawford, the boxer. And he's fighting Canelo Alvarez next, and it's supposed to be a big money fight. And, you know, somebody had said to him, like, oh, you want to fight Canelo, not this guy, because you need the money. And he was just like, I'm a prize fighter. We all are fighting for money. So it's like, yeah, we all need the money because we're all fighting to get paid. That's what I do my job for. He's like, what are you talking about? That's like,
and it's not just fighters, Caleb. It's we all work for money. We do, you know, you coach high school football. We do the radio show. You know, Mike does, you know, the stuff he does up in New Jersey with these appearances and such. And fighters fight for money. Yeah. You know, I asked somebody out at $1 today, and finally some people are starting to be honest, you know, in that, no, I'm playing for the love of the sport. No, you enjoy the sport, but you're fighting, you're playing, you're competing for money to take care of your family.
Yes. I think it's always so ridiculous when you hear, like, when players have contract disputes, right? You have the whole Trey Hendrickson thing going on, and you see, like, fans or people in the media who are so dishonest, and then they say, like, oh, you know, like, do you really need more, or take a pay cut, or why are you asking for a raise? And it's just like, everyone should be asking for a raise. You should do your job so well that you should go, I want to pay what I'm worth to this company or to this entity or whatever the case may be. And you wouldn't take less money. It's your job. If they ask you to take a pay cut, you wouldn't say yes to that and be in the same position you were in before. You would say, no, I'm going to find work somewhere else. And so when players do it, I think a lot of times we see athletes, and when people see athletes and celebrities, they stop thinking they're real people. And so they talk as if, and they don't ever put themselves in that situation too, you know? And so it's an interesting thing.
I'll let everybody else jump in a second. I'll make this comment, and then you guys give me your opinion. I think this is where media, and this is where I stand with that, and where fans do. It's a little different when you're asking for more money when it's negotiation time, not when you're under contract. You know, you signed a contract. You know, people rip the UFC because they're underpaying fighters. They sign the contract. Fighters start bitching that they want more money. You sign the contract. You got to wait till that contract's up and then hope you can get more money in your next contract. That's where I stand with that.
The NFL is a unique sport, is because baseball and basketball, you don't see that happen as much because those guys get guaranteed money.
Right.
When they sign their contract, they're getting every dollar that's on that paper. Yep. Football players don't have that luxury. So they have their guarantees, and that's it. So if you want to hold out for a year or you get more guarantees or you get more upfront money, I don't see anything wrong with that, because teams will cut you without a notice. They will trade you without notice. They will ask you for a pay cut without notice. If you don't take a pay cut, they'll release you. And so, no, I have no problem with the player wanting to get ever saying I want. I don't care if you got a contract last year like Cam Hayward. He's like, I was an All-Pro. I know I'm 36. He goes, give me some more upfront money, give me some more guaranteed money. Trent Williams did it last year for the Niners and still went and balled out. And so, no, I have no problem with it just because I understand the business of football. And so it's unlike any other sport, which is why you see players do those kind of things, because we understand one play and you don't have to take any money anymore. You don't have to give me any of this money, you know? And if I get hurt or if I retire early, I have to pay you money back, which is crazy. You know what I mean? And so it's, no, I have no problem with it at all.
So this question is actually for Mike Straka. Compared to contracts with sports and athletes, like Caleb talked about, how does it work in network TV with anchors and how do you negotiate salaries when you become a bigger influence or a bigger voice in media?
It's all about your agent, man, and it's all about the relationship your agent has with the head of the network. There were people there's a guy named Larry Kramer who was a small time lawyer in New York City who became, he was Shepard Smith's agent, and he was, I think he did a lot of people at Fox News Channel. Shepard Smith went from a couple $100,000 a year to $7 million a year by the time he left Fox. But he was good friends with Roger Ailes, and if you look back at the Beanstocks and the CAAs and William Morris Agency, Jim Griffin. Yeah, he had a lot of these guys. Jimmy Dixon from he's got Jon Stewart. He's got Craig Carton, my co-host on Spike TV, my ex-co-host. So it all depends on your relationships, man. People always ask me too, and Randy, I'm sure you get this all the time, and it really irks me when people I don't even know, like, they come up to me like, hey, I've got this antibacterial soap. Can you get Frankie Edgar? Can you get Luke Rockhold? Can you get Daniel Cormier for me? I'm like, what? No, I can't get them for you. You want to pay me $10,000 as a retainer and I'll be your consultant? Yeah, we could talk about that. But but like I said, it's all about relationships. People work their butts off, and it's funny when somebody goes on the same token, somebody come up to me or somebody go to Jon Stewart and say, hey, can you hook me up with your agent? Like, that doesn't work that way, man. It just doesn't. People work their careers making these relationships, and that's how you get money in this industry. Now, that being said, Randy, I want to take it back full circle. You recognize that building? I'm in Atlantic City, by the way. I'm on the boardwalk.
That's where the UFC fought, right?
That's right. That's Boardwalk Hall.
Boardwalk Hall.
That's where I saw my first live UFC event in 2001. I saw BJ Penn fight Cal Uno, and Matt Serra fought Shoney Carter. It was an event, man. Randy Couture fought. He fought. Maybe Rico Rodriguez. I'm not really sure. Oh, by the way, Rico Rodriguez lives in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I run into him often. The first time I saw him, he's like, aren't you Mike Straka? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm Rico Rodriguez. I was like, what? He's completely bald now. He's younger than I am. I can't believe he's younger than me.
Take a wild guess, Caleb Benenat, Matt McClellan. Guess who was in attendance at Boardwalk Hall there when the UFC was there back in the early days?
I know who it was.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So, everybody that's, he's jumping on the bandwagon. A lot of the reason that the UFC is where they're at, we give all the credit to Dana, and he deserves every second of it, but so does Donald Trump. Donald Trump opened up the casinos, opened up Boardwalk Hall, all of that, enabled the UFC to have a home to go to. And I just loved seeing him then, and I love seeing him when he walks in. The reaction, whether you like him or not, is just overwhelming.
Well, yeah. And, back to Frankie, he did tell me that the payday was really good. He didn't tell me what the number was, and I didn't ask him, of course. It's funny, though. If it was a fighter I didn't know, I would have said, well, what's your payday? But since I know the guy, I felt uncomfortable asking. Isn't that weird?
No, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna disagree, because I think it's weird to ask either way. Because I've always said it's none of my it's none of my business what anybody makes.
As a journalist, if we're covering the sport, we should, it's something that it's not a question that is out of the realm. Do you know what I mean? And he's the one who he brought it up. He said it's a good payday. Now, if I was on national television, I would have said, okay, well, what are you getting paid? It's a follow-up question. You brought it up. And I think it's fair game when it's like that. But when you're talking to a guy that you know pretty well, it's that becomes uncomfortable, and that becomes none of my business.
Go, Caleb.
I always wonder how come how come their paydays aren't disclosed? Like NBA players are, MLB players are, NFL players are. I think Major League Soccer.
They are.
They are. They're divulged.
After the fact.
What's not divulged is the bonus money. I've always told the story. I was in with Matt Serra when he got a check, and Matt's like, "Oh, thank you, Dana," because when he beat JSP, and Dana's like, "No, that's just a little something else, for the job you did." But what the contract amount is, it is divulged.
Oh,
yeah, that's divulged by the athletic commission after the fight. After the fights are over, all of the prizes are listed on a sheet that says, okay. But as Randy said, if somebody makes $30,000, like 15 to show, 15 to win. So on paper they make 30 grand. We don't know that Dana White gave him another 100 grand backstage, and that's very often it happens. And fighters don't like to talk about that because then it puts Dana in a position because somebody will say, "Oh, Dana, what about me?"
Yeah.
Let me ask all of you, and I'll start with you, Mike, because you were talking about it, and then Caleb. Why is it anybody's business? Why is that story worthy? How much Frankie Edgar is going to make in this fight?
Well, it's something that the media has been harping on for many years. I mean, record contracts. It's divulged because, Alex Rodriguez, for instance, making $270 million to play baseball. Well, if you're somebody on par with Alex Rodriguez, you want to know that information. And you're going to say, okay, well, if Alex is making that much money, I want to make that much money too. And then you have the fans behind you saying, yeah, why isn't Derek Jeter making the same amount as Alex Rodriguez? So I think in the realm of sports, it's just not an unreasonable, it's not an unreasonable piece of information for the fans to know. And if you're paying $120 for a jersey, you might want to know that the guy's that's part of the guy's contract. He's getting a piece of that. So I don't know.
Caleb?
I could definitely see the positives in it because I think it's just more things for the media to talk about. I think it's something else that keeps the TV going. Like after news became 24/7 and the sports shows are 24/7, it's just we need, especially like in the dead points in the off season. I think there's a reason they made it that people sign contracts around a certain time, so you have things to talk about. You can have trades around a certain time, so you have things to talk about. When they have those dead spots in the NFL calendar, they fill it with contract stuff. The media gets the things to talk about. The teams get to stay relevant and be on TV. But I think it works in positives for players because again, the more you're talked about, the more revenue you get, the more eyes you get, the more attention you get. Everybody gets more money. But I also think it can be a detriment also, just because of you have a proverbial target on your back. So I can see the pros and cons to it, but it was just an interesting thing. I never really see the fighters, they're like, oh, John Jones signed a new UFC contract, but they're not just like they don't tell you the amount the way they say, oh, Patrick Mahomes signs for $500 million. Everybody knows that number and the years and when he's getting paid what his bonuses are and all these things like that. So I just found it interesting.
Endorsements, everybody knew what Tiger Woods was making. Everybody knew what Michael Jordan was making on his endorsements.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, and I think the fans, I don't know if deserve is the right word. I think they have the right to know, to be honest with you. If I have a rookie card from Michael Jordan, I know that it's worth a lot more money when he's making $100 million in passive income for a sneaker. You know what I mean? Or if I have an original Air Jordan that I haven't taken out of the box yet, it permeates the entire sports world, merchandising, image, everything.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, guys. How does it pertain to the NIL with college and high school athletes now getting paid for their images and likeness? And are those numbers disclosed as well because they're minors?
Well, no, they're not really. It's public information though, but it's not disclosed as much as professionals. I think, even wrestlers are getting money now. I was shocked that Rutgers University just lost Peterson to a bigger school because somebody gave him $2 million. The boosters gave him, I think it was Penn State, $2 million to come and wrestle at Penn State. And this kid's a freshman in college, man.
It's Penn State though. It's Penn State.
But he was going to Rutgers. Coach Goodale was all excited about it. I actually ran into Coach Goodale a couple of days ago, and he told me the story about Peterson leaving. I was like, wow, that's big news, man. But we don't hear about it on mainstream media.
Before I forget, I need to go back to something that you said because to me it doesn't make sense. And you're much smarter than I. But I've been in the collectible business. I've been, you know, I collect cards. We have a collecting sponsor in Ryan Westner. I don't believe the value of a trading card has anything to do with how much money that player is making. How good they are, what they're doing on the field, on the court, whatever, but how much they're making, I don't think has anything to do
Isn't
with
that mutually exclusive, Randy? You know,
Yeah.
you're getting paid $100 million a year. That means you're pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so, you know, you make a point, but one goes hand in hand with the other.
Not really. Like there's rookie ball players, you know, that are not making much money in Major League Baseball right now, whose rookie card is worth a lot of money because he's a rookie. He's not making money. They're anticipating. I just don't think how much they're making. You know, when Mahomes is no longer making stupid money, his card is still going to be worth a lot of money.
Do you ever think he's not going to make stupid money? I don't think
I
so.
knew you were going to jump in and say that.
No, but seriously though, I don't think so. Yeah.
No, but he won't make, you know, his final contract isn't going to be the biggest contract, most likely. You know, it's the middle in your prime. And I'm just saying how much money they're making. It's more. And yes, I understand Mike saying, well, if they're performing on the field, then their contract is going to be higher. I get that. But.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what we were saying about Frankie and fighters. It is almost taboo to ask a fighter. And, you know, we've talked about this, Randy, you and I and Matt. I don't know, Caleb, if you ever talk to fighters. Fighters have the thinnest skin and the longest memories. And these are the toughest guys in the world. And man, if you ask them a question, I had to put it to a fighter once. If I walk into a cage with you, I expect to get choked out. And I had to tell him once, if you come into my studio and I got 4 cameras, that's my octagon. You're going to expect tough questions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm sorry if your mom is mad at me. But it is what it is. I mean, if I go in a cage with you, I fully expect to get knocked you know what out. So
the key though, the key to what you're saying, and I'm saying it for a reason for somebody that's on the show right now, and it's certainly not the 300+ pound guy that I'm going to be hanging out with in a couple of weeks. You can ask a difficult question. It's how you ask the difficult question.
Yeah.
You know, if it's asked in a professional manner, you know, they shouldn't get upset. It's when it's not asked properly that I understand, you know, an athlete or anybody getting upset on how the question's asked.
Right. And again, you know, I usually make it, if I'm going to ask a difficult question, I wait until the opportunity arises. I don't just throw in a non sequitur, you know, talk about your last fight and then, oh, by the way, a couple of years ago, you were busted with steroids. You want to talk about that? Because that's a total non sequitur. And it's like a got you moment. And I hate when reporters do that. I can't stand that. It gives the reporters it gives the whole industry, media industry, such a bad name. And when you've got people, you know, Dana White once said, everybody with a blog is suddenly a journalist. And they have no business being in the locker room. They have no business talking to a professional athlete because they don't know how to ask these questions. And it really irks me. I'm not saying you need a degree from Syracuse or NYU or Columbia, but you certainly have to have some professionalism, and that doesn't come overnight. It comes with experience, and it comes with getting your ass handed to you. You know, when you ask something and you learn a lesson sometimes, you know, you get smacked sometimes, maybe not physically, but you get smacked down by somebody's manager, somebody's agent, by your boss, by the news director, and you learn the hard way. And these kids who are out there with these blogs, I don't care if they got 100 million followers. It doesn't mean that you have the right to be in that locker room.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, what are your thoughts? Will Gable Stevenson find success in the LFA as he transitions from wrestling to MMA? So, what are your thoughts on? You know, are there levels to the sport? Can you come from a different sport like wrestling and have success? We know Brock Lesnar did at the highest level, but what are your thoughts on Gable Stevenson?
Well, which one of us are you asking, Matt?
Any of you. I mean, all of you.
I know he's a 2-time Olympian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's got skills on the mat, and I think wrestling transitions. We have Bo Nickel in there. I know he lost. I believe he lost his last fight, but he's a good fighter. He's a promising fighter, and the UFC is not going to murder you for having one loss. So I mean, I definitely think he could have success. I thought he's kind of jumped around. He said he was going to WWE at one point in time. Then he said he was going to try playing the NFL at one point in time. And so he seems like an athletic, talented kid, and I want to see him do well.
I think he did sign with WWE, and
just never. He made like an appearance or two, and that was kind of fizzled out. Yeah.
Mike, what do you think?
I think you're already successful if you're signed on to the UFC, period, whether you win or lose. I mean, not everybody gets that opportunity. So I think you're already successful. Transition, you're not going to win. I mean, you're not going to win every fight, obviously. Guys who train their whole lives don't win every fight. But you got to take your shot, man. If you have that opportunity.
What makes a successful? You said once you're signed by the UFC, that's a success. So when Phil Brooks was signed by the UFC, that was a success. His reign in the UFC was a success.
No, just getting signed was a success, but no, he was terrible in UFC.
Well, I don't know if I would call that a success. He got signed by the UFC because of who he is and where he came from.
Well, no, he got signed because Brock Lesnar was successful and he made the transition. And he was I remember Dana White saying to Brock Lesnar at a news conference, "This is not the place to come to learn how to fight, Brock." And then he became champion. So Dana ate his own words. So then, you get a guy like CM Punk and you say, okay, let's give him a shot, see what he can do.
Well, not to argue with you're the guru. Brock Lesnar had fights before he got into the UFC. Phil Brooks, CM Punk, came straight from WWE to the UFC. So Brock had a fight or two before he came to the UFC.
Well, look, Kimbo Slice had many fights, and he didn't do very well in the UFC either.
No, for sure.
Well, and just so we're clear, like Gable Stevenson's fighting for the LFA,
right?
Not the UFC.
Right.
There's a difference in the promotion, obviously.
Isn't LFA, Randy? Is that where Ed Suarez went?
Yes.
Yeah. So Ed is a very smart businessman, as we all know. He's Anderson Silva's agent, and I think he had a couple other pretty big fighters back in the day. I can't remember who at this point.
Before we run out of time, Mike, two real quick questions for you, and then we'll let you go. One, what are you doing in Atlantic City? And two, are you walking to the White House by chance?
No, I can walk to the White House because
I know.
I took the bus down here, and the White House is right near the bus terminal. You know what? I had a day off, and I figured, let me go down and play some poker. I haven't played poker yet because I went in there and it was a long wait for. I was going to play a 1-2 table, like an hour and a half wait, and so I knew I had to do the show, and I didn't want to sit down and then, with my luck, get on a run and like, oh, I got to get up from the table and do your show, and then come back and all my cards were gone. You know what I mean? So I'll probably go back and play now. But yeah, I'm down here just to kill some time, and I got the day off, and I haven't been to AC since it's been about 6 or 7 years. So
what's it like out there? It's been years for me. Caleb, have you ever been to the boardwalk in Atlantic City?
I have not been in Atlantic City. I've only heard about it in movies and TV shows.
It was tremendous. I don't know what it is now. Mike, what is it like now?
A shadow of its former self. So
really?
It's depressing. Very depressing. There are some people here. I mean, it's not a great day. It's raining right now, and you probably hear the wind. That's why I keep muting my microphone because it's windy. But it's not what it used to be. And there's a big. You always hear about it in Jersey, a redevelopment project, another $1 billion going into AC, but nobody comes, man. The Ocean Casino is took over for the Revel. The Revel was a $11 billion casino that went out of business. So that shows you something right there. And the Ocean Casino is doing pretty well, but they're doing well with live shows. Sebastian Maniscalco is going to be here next month.
He's funny.
Stevie Nicks is at the Boardwalk Hall. I see a billboard right now for that. So they're getting people here. It's just, it's a very dilapidated town, man. What they really need to do, instead of reviving the casino, they need to revive the neighborhood. Because the neighborhood around Atlantic City is very poor, and it's all dilapidated. You make one wrong turn and you're in Kensington. You know what I mean? It's not that place to be.
Who laughed? Did Caleb laugh?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Caleb, do you know about Kensington?
I've heard things.
Have I told you about it? Kensington is where my uncle lived. It's the heroin capital of the world in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is the heroin capital and the fentanyl capital of the world.
So if you think that of Philadelphia, now duplicate it by 100, and that's Kensington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ask Eddie Alvarez, right?
Yeah. But, Atlantic City's like that too, man. You go down the wrong block and, 1 minute you're at Caesars Casino. Next minute you're in a trap house.
Honestly, most major cities I've come to realize are just like that. Houston, surprisingly, is a lot better than it used to be. They did like a lot of cleanup on the roads, and the homeless population is not too bad. But most, like, you go to Los Angeles, you go to Miami, like downtown, like you go anywhere, I feel like the major cities, it's just kind of ugh.
No, for sure. Mike, we're going to let you go. We're at the top of the hour. Stay in touch. We're going to get you back on next week. We're going to pick the same, bat time, same bat channel, and we'll get that worked out for next week.
All right, gentlemen. Great talking to you.
All right, take care of that. It's Mike Straka, back involved with the program. Looking forward to that. Got a couple of minutes left till the top of the hour. Caleb, give me your thoughts on the upcoming NFL season.
Man, it's going to be interesting. I feel like the NFL is a bit top heavy, and I feel like I'm interested to see how the storylines play out, because every year you have the storylines. This guy gets hurt, the surprise team, who's going to be a surprise young quarterback, who's going to be the superstar who kind of has a letdown year and misses the playoff. So I'm just kind of interested to see how the storylines go.
Matt, I looked down as Derek Lewis was telling this story, and he was going to say that the NFL is scripted. Come on, that was supposed to be semi-funny, guys. That's not funny.
No, I can't stand people who say that. I'm not going to lie. Like the NFL scripted, I'm like, you think people work all that time just to
I don't think it's scripted, but I don't think the UFC is either. And Derek Lewis is like, oh, everything's scripted. They want me to, I'm going to win in 90 seconds of the first round. And then he goes and wins in 90 seconds.
Right. He did it. Like,
he's the best, man. What is he, like 40-something years old now?
Something like that. And I'm pretty confident he will be on that July 4th White House card.
I wouldn't be shocked either. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
There'll be two black beasts at the White House: the motorcade black beast, the armored.
I think that was just called. I think that was just called the Beast. Don't be racist, man.
Well, it's black in color. both the beasts are black.
No comment. I'm just going to sit here and let him drown. Let him go down. So are you picking? Are you picking Kansas City to be there again? I think the so-called experts have it Detroit, Kansas City.
Yeah, I have Kansas City just because, to me, I was on the wrong side of Tom Brady for a very long time. So when I got to Patrick Mahomes early, and I was like, oh, this guy's going to be the next guy. Until they got to show me that they're going to lose first. Somebody's got to prove to me. Until I see it, I just can't stick against them. I can't do it. I don't think it's smart.
Matt?
I think Detroit's going to win this year. I mean, Caleb's got the sweater on. He's representing the Lions already, so he knows something we don't know.
You put a Lions one on?
Yeah, he got Lions on there.
I don't have a Bucks one of it.
Is it cold in Houston?
No, but my house stays about 65 degrees.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, nice and toasty in here.
You have either one of you have an update on Hutchinson? Is he good?
The Lions defensive end?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's healthy. They said he could have played. He almost came back last year. From my about that. Yeah, from my understanding, he almost came back last year. So I think he'll be just fine. He's a really good player, talented guy.
He is, and Detroit's one of those cities I love going to. I know I'm coming to see you when the Bucks play Houston, but I'm going to Detroit as well for that Monday night game, and a live stream from our buddy Seth Gold and Les Gold out at the pawn shop as well. Nothing.
Did you see Jared Allen go to the Hall of Fame?
Say that again. You cut out.
Jared Allen is a Hall of Famer. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I know we only have a minute left, so let's save it for into the next hour. We'll do another quick 10-minute segment, and then we'll get back to some other talks. But I do have. Well, I think I got a minute. I believe, and I've said this numerous times, if you don't get into the Hall of Fame within, give me a time frame. 3 years?
I think it's 5.
No. I think you have X amount of years. It's more than 5. You're eligible more than 5.
Oh, no. I think you're perpetually eligible, but I mean, like, I think it's
You have to be out X amount of years.
5 years, yeah.
Right. How long has he been out?
Probably, I don't know, 8, 9 years maybe, something like that.
No, then that's not awful. My thing is, once you get to eligibility, you should have like 3 years. If you don't get in with those 3 years, I don't think you're a Hall of Famer.
Like 3 tries after you're eligible.
Right.
Yeah, gotcha.
Now maybe expand, how many can go in. I'm dead against the senior, 42 years later, the player's been gone for 35
years. That one's ridiculous to me. I'm not a fan of that either. I don't like that at all. It's like
unless it's Pete Rose, put him in the Hall, baby.
Isn't that the referee? Or was it the manager?
Who, Pete Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Rose was the player and then a manager. All right, we're at the top of the hour. Let's go hit the top of the hour, and then we will return with Caleb and Drakkar Klose coming up right after. We'll be right back.
This is Lynn Swan, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
Got Bills and Lou.
Yeah, what up, Caleb? Uh-oh, this microphone's off. Yeah, we're still on the live stream, Randy, so we're still on the YouTube live.
Yeah.
So
I was just doing some research. I was getting Drakkar ready.
This is working pretty good, man. I like this platform.
It's got potential to be pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Especially with the video and the audio and video being, synced up. So.
Let me see. Share it out. We are on the live stream right here on YouTube, Knockout Radio on YouTube. Knockout Radio. I think we're off the Facebook. I think you put something up that booted us off.
I did?
Yeah, okay. Who knows?
No. DJ Tony with the no dead air, Matt.
Yeah, so talk.
So I'm ready. What do you want to talk about? We got to talk about freedom, man. We got to talk about Caleb and how he's feeling after his retirement, how his body's feeling, his joints and compression, his vertebrae, because we see with Hulk Hogan how important it is for your spinal care, your cervical, your lumbar.
Can we have freedom? Can we have freedom of talking about your freedom?
No, because Caleb was open about CTE on the show. He's been open for years, talked about CTE. So might as well bring that conversation back up. And was Caleb smoking on the live stream? Are we allowed to smoke on here? Because I can go get my cigar if smoking's allowed.
No. Yes, sir.
Come on. What are you talking about?
You're supposed to be semi-professional.
Look, I set up my studio. Got a couple cigars, boxes back there, so I'm ready. Got some Texas hot honey back there. Shout out.
You can't even run an open sound down.
What do you mean? Got bucked up energy back there.
Nah, you don't need to do that.
Are you still doing bucked up?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I guess I can't be a part of the show no more. It's so easy to get rid of sponsors, man. No, they'll be back. They'll all come back after this thing. I mean, we're gonna blow this thing up.
I think we're back. I don't know. I didn't hear no music. Yeah. Well, Diet Coke. I was supposed to get hopefully getting a Diet Coke sponsor.
Okay. Yeah.
Where's Ed at? Ed didn't tell us that we're back. Are we back?
Ed, what are you doing? Let's do a wellness check on him.
We're back. Maybe you should unmute us.
Well, we just mute during the commercials. You got to unmute yourself.
Yes. No, I'm not muted. You muted me.
I'll leave it to Matt.
Well, yeah, I muted you because it was playing the music.
All right, we are back live on WTAN. Another fumble by Matt McClellan. Shockingly there. All right, so were we in the middle of talking about something? What was Caleb's last question?
It was clean, but go ahead.
Is Caleb still there?
I think he went to the bathroom.
Yeah, okay.
Could be.
So I think he asked me about Eric Allen or Jared Allen. Jared Allen, I believe, retired in 2015. So if it's 5 years, he was eligible in 2000. So it took him 5 years. That's okay. You know, I've always said 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
You know, I know a legend in Minnesota. One of I think I just saw on Wikipedia one of the top 50 Vikings of all time in the Ring of Honor. Played for the Vikings from 08 to 13. Played for the Bears, finished with the Panthers. 4 first teams, 5 Pro Bowls. Led the league in sacks twice. So I'm not going to argue about him being in the Hall of Fame because, again, it's within my circle of 3 to 5 years.
Well, here's my problem with the Hall of Fame stuff. If it's all based on stats, how many into games where it's a blowout, teams just quit or just substituting their other players in to save injuries, or they're taking Hail Mary risk and chances just to catch up and scoreboard, where interceptions and picks and sacks and they're just racking up numbers. But when it comes time to negotiate a salary, they're like, oh, my client had 12.5 sacks this season. He's the top in the league. But how do you know they were really earned when it mattered the most? Like, a lot of these Hall of Fame stats and careers are padded. Worse than fighters going to like Mexico and fighting 30 people in 2 weeks and coming back 30-0.
No, for sure. It's and that was the big discussion about MVP of the Super Bowl when the Bucs won it in 2002. And everybody was like, is it Dexter Jackson? Is it Dwight Smith? They both did 2 different things. Dwight later in the game and returned 2 picks for touchdowns. Dexter's early in the game who helped turn the game around. So a lot of that does matter. But when you're looking at stats, that's what you look at. You're looking at stats. You don't know. In the fight game, does it matter knockout early, knockout late? It's a knockout. You're swinging for the fences, whatever. A knockout's a knockout.
Well,
Obviously,
speaking of knockout, like with the way that Kazmat, manhandled Duplessis on Saturday night, UFC 319 in Chicago, were you surprised that he didn't finish him? Does it tarnish Kazmat, like that he didn't or couldn't finish Duplessis in the competition and had to go to.
Some people are saying that. Yeah, and some people are saying that, that he wasn't able, to finish. Now, again, just like I'm saying, let's put more of the blame on Dreykus, for what happened. That doesn't fall on Dreykus. Dreykus did a great job. He protected his face. A lot of those 500-plus strikes didn't seem to be massive punches. Now, again, I don't care. Even 500 love taps to your face is not going to feel well. But, yeah, I think it does in some fans. I thought it was a dominant fight. I thought it was a dominant performance. And from somebody, and I like Dreykus, so this isn't a dig on him, he said that he wants to be the GOAT, that he is going to be the GOAT. He didn't perform that way. Will he be back? Very possibly. But I think more of the blame for anybody who says the fight was boring, I didn't find it necessarily boring. He didn't lay on top of him and do nothing. He had him in a crucifix. He threw punches or love taps, whatever you want to call them. But still, I don't want that type of love tap.
Have you ever seen that many crucifixes in your life? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that many in a church.
Well, no, I saw that many. My daughter got married in a church, so I did see a handful of crucifixes.
That was but have you seen that viral video of the guy training for the crucifix defense? He's in the gym on the ground. He's got a weight on one arm and a sandbag on the other. Like he's like pretending like he's rolling back and forth. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Well, what do you think of the first 2 hours of our first stream?
I love it. I think you have to have your guests on. You've got to have the video, But look, Mike Straka was on site, showing us Atlantic City from his phone, talking about, Frankie Edgar and the fights. And I mean, it just brings so much more to the story than just two guys talking over airwaves. People want to see images. People want to see who's saying what. And, I think it's cool. We all have our own studio. We have our own backdrops. We have our own content. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. It'll take time to learn how to do these, what we're doing, who we're putting where, that kind of stuff. We're still in the chat room. If you're tuning in, jump into the chat. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us who you'd like to see as guests.
Do what? I'm gonna invite a guest right now. See if I can get.
Well, no, we have a guest coming.
Oh, dang! All right.
Yeah.
Now that's what's cool. You can use your contact list from Facebook. You can invite people, and it's going to be so much more inclusive and well-rounded.
Well, we have.
But
hopefully, we have Victory Wednesday coming up here with Drycar any minute.
I have a question for him, so I'm excited to ask him a question.
What question might that be?
Well, I want he's got his own, he got a suit made, and he's got it embroidered with his name on the inside and the lapel. And but why MMA fighters? These like warriors, these bloody, fist to face, animals. Why they take so much pride in dressing up in suits and three-piece suits, and suits used to be something like where you were forced to wear a suit to go to work, but obviously in the fight game it's not required to wear a suit. But more times than not, Conor McGregor comes to mind. A lot of guys take great pride in wearing suits. Yeah. So this is kind of the mindset behind it, like why
Travis Thompson.
Travis Thompson. But why do fighters wear a suit when it's not required?
I would imagine it feels good, it looks good, it makes you feel good.
When was the last time you wore a suit other than your daughter's wedding?
That's it.
Did you ever have a job where you had to wear a suit? Were you ever forced to wear a suit?
No.
Never. Okay.
I wore a suit when I got married, I think.
Because it's a uniform. I mean, it's like the military. For a lot of people, a suit is a requirement. But is that way anymore? I mean, when was the last time you went somewhere and you expected to see someone in a suit? Maybe a funeral home. I mean, if you're going to a funeral home, do you expect whatever they're called, I don't know what they're called, partitioners or whatever. What do you call someone that runs a funeral home? Director?
Boss.
But you probably expect them to wear a suit because of the respect for the dead, right?
I don't know.
Are any other industries requiring suits these days?
I don't know. I don't know. What? So when
limo drivers? Does Steve Linnae have to wear a suit to go to fix a garage door?
I don't go anywhere that requires to get dressed up. Mick was on to start, the new era of Knockout Radio, and he made reference to I didn't even own a sports coat until I went in the Hall of Fame.
So what about like restaurants? Do restaurants still have dress codes? Do you go anywhere where you must wear a dress coat? Like, does Burns Steakhouse require such a code, or have you been anywhere that requires?
Honestly, I don't know. I know that we went last year, and I don't remember. I don't know. I don't want to go anywhere where they require you to do anything. I mean, I get it. Like Margaritaville at Sea, when we went out to dinner on the steakhouse, I went in shorts and flip-flops.
Okay.
You can't do that on other cruise ships. If you're going into those specialties, you got to at least, long pants, this, that, the other. But, that's the beauty of Margaritaville at Sea. It was
a great ship, though. We had a great time there. I had a great time on that boat. There he is, Caleb. Welcome back, Caleb. Not from Houston, but he raps a lot. Caleb Bittenat, checking in.
I do not rap, but yeah, man, it's good to be back.
All right, it's great to have you back. It's great to have you back. So right now we're going to go hit the 15-minute break. It's a 2 and 2, so let's go do that, and we'll continue the conversation coming to you live from different locations throughout Florida and Houston. We may even reach out to Leslie in Scotland when we return.
John Owen, you're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is.
Caleb, you never tried to give rapping a shot? You never did any mixtapes back in your day?
Did you mute the station again?
Yeah, I muted the station so we can talk on the live stream.
Yeah, but make sure you put it back on so we know when we're back.
Have Ed just undo his mic when he's ready to come back from break. He knows when the break ends. I don't. Okay, I'll put it back on. But you're gonna have to tell him.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat? Berg Sports Bar and Grill. You want to have a drink? Where do you go? Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it? That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field. Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill. Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
This is Randy Harris for Mick for Hair at Got Split End Salon in Pinellas Park, our official hair care and grooming provider who caters to everyone, women, men, kids, and senior citizens in an affordable, upscale environment staffed with the most talented professionals in the business. Visit Mick for Hair at Got Split Ends today at 4376 Park Boulevard in Pinellas Park, or call them at 727-290-9873.
Check out fantasypets.com, where fantasy meets cutting-edge technology. We create breathtaking 3D printed fantasy creatures that captivate hearts and minds, from the T-Rex to the dragons and the shark to the crocodile. Every fantasy pet is a testament to our dedication and precision and quality. You can request custom designs and bulk pricing as well. Go to fantasypets.com. That's fantasypets.com. Say goodbye to outdated equipment and welcome the latest smart technology into your home. With Cool Breeze AC, you can effortlessly control the temperature and create the perfect environment from anywhere at any time. Call Cool Breeze today at 727-954-3605.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, If you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8-man strong.
Hey, this is NFL Hall of Famer. No. Hey, this is NFL Hall of Famer Tony Dorsett. You're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris.
All right, we are back hanging out, shenanigans here. Day one of a new era. I don't know if you can say trademarked, copywritten things, but the New Day, which is the WWE tag team now. It used to be the Tree, and now there's two. That was their big line. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And that's what it is right here on Knockout Radio as we're going to move forward. Matt's been on me forever to get this started, so we're giving it a shot.
How's it feel?
It's been cool. It's been fun. You know, I'm just not used to change. I'm not happy with change.
In anything? Are you like when you're comfortable with something, you just keep doing the same thing forever? Like, I mean, I know you do the same birthday dinner every year, you know, Lone Star Steakhouse or whatever.
Longhorn.
But change is good, right?
I'm getting yelled because I didn't put Denver in the Staff Zone commercial.
Well, but I put Denver on the map behind me, so everybody that comes on the show is going to have a thumbtack of where they chimed in for. We now have Nigeria on the map. And,
well, that's a country. Are you doing countries or are you doing
whatever they want. City, state, country, hemisphere, whatever you want to do.
Unless you're from Hawaii, and then it's Hawaii, not the United States.
I mean, when Max Holloway comes on, we'll ask him, or BJ Penn.
Well, it's Hawaii. I mean, that's where they're from. They're from Hawaii. We've talked about this before. You know, certain states, you know, like Hawaii is like separate. I've never seen a Hawaiian come into a fight carrying the American flag. It's always the Hawaiian flag.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen a Floridian carry the Florida flag in. They carry the
You would think you would think there'd be a Florida flag in one of these promotions. I mean, people are pretty passionate about Florida.
There is a Florida flag. I'm just saying that they all. I don't know any other state that I remember seeing. Do you remember seeing any other state being carried in other than Hawaii?
No.
If you're in the chat room, if you can think of one, let me know.
And Puerto Rico.
Well, that's not a state.
It's kind of a state. I mean, it's an unofficial state. I mean, its relationship is so close.
It's like a territory.
Right?
It's like a territory.
Yeah,
it's not a state. It's not a star. It's not on the flag.
And Tito Ortiz had the Mexican, like, you know, half and half flag, right?
Well, no, he didn't half and half it. He did it back to back.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the half and half thing. I'm not a big fan of, you know, the black line through the flag for any reason. I mean, I get what it's for, and it means a great deal, but I'm not big on defacing, you know, the flag. So, all right.
Oh, look at this. Here we go.
It is Victory Monday or Victory Wednesday. This is our very first attempt at these streams, and let's welcome to the program our new best friend, the victorious, the Drakkar Close. What's up, buddy?
What up? What up? Thank you. How y'all doing today?
We're doing great. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you. Well deserved.
What was? Oh no, definitely. What was the atmosphere like? What was the crowd like?
Man, it was awesome. You know, just going out there, and I was kind of locked in. You know, once my walkout music started, I was just right in that zone and ready to win and get the job done.
I'm not a big fan of when somebody says, "Did you expect to win?" You know, after the fight. You know, obviously you expected to win because you dominated the fight. Were you surprised at how the scorecards were off? And as a judge in Florida, I look at these things. It's one thing if you lose a round, but one judge had you win a round and another judge had you lose. And basically how close the judges thought that fight was, but us watching it didn't seem like it was that close.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I even asked my coach in the first round, I was like, who won that? And he had gave it to Barbosa. But in my head, I was like, it felt like I did a lot more damage. And then I went back and watched it. I thought I had won all 3 rounds. If we basing on damage, like he really didn't. Anything wasn't devastating, what he had did to me. So it was like his face was all battered in. After the fight, he was on crutches and a boot. So it's like when it comes to damage, that's what fights should be based off. I thought I did way more damage.
Well, and I believe I was told that the rules are changing, that it's already been, I believe, been passed, that damage is now, the number one criteria, where up until now, there's all those things, damage and octagon control and this, that, the other. And damage should be the number one thing.
Oh, of course. What kind of surprised me was that he was trying to hold me against the cage, which I thought kind of played into my favor because I knew he would get tired, and he carries a lot of muscle, and that just drained him even more.
Talk about the adrenaline as you're walking into the cage. You knew it was a big fight, a big crowd, a loud crowd. How do you control that, or how did you control that?
For this fight, I've actually felt super locked in, and this is probably one of the most calm I ever felt. And I don't know if it's because I had coming off a loss, knowing that I had to win this fight, but it just felt like I was super locked in. I could see everything. I was in the moment. I didn't try to get too crazy with anything. Just taking 1 second at a time.
How difficult is it to control that? You just said because of your last fight. You might be thinking about it in the back, but as you're walking in, how difficult is it to clear your mind, not think of anything other than what you're about to do?
I just, like, before I walked out, I just talked to myself. And, I tell myself, why not me? Why not me? And, I've been in this game a long time, and, it feels like I don't get enough praise. I got 10 UFC wins. Not many people can say they can get 10 UFC wins. I've had a lot of injuries. I think that's why, people really don't know who I am. But, hey, when I go out there, I give it my all, and I'm always going to continue to do that.
You'll find out. Let me ask this one more, because I'll forget that and jump in.
Go ahead.
So you'll get to learn a lot about us and about me now that we're best friends, and we're going to continue this great friendship and relationship. Yeah. A lot of things bother me. So a lot of people were saying, well, you're fighting Edson Barboza. Can you step up and beat Edson Barboza? Blah, 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 blah. Then you go out and I believe, dominate Edson Barboza. And now it's like, well, he's older. Well, he's ready to this, ready to that. That bothered me. Does that bother you?
It does. At the end of the day, Leon Murphy was Edson's last loss, and Murphy's going to be fighting for a title. So, like a lot of guys that I have beat have fought Charles Oliveira, has Khabib. You know what I mean? Like, has fought all these top guys, but I don't get that recognition, So it is what it is, It's all about how many followers you got, which I don't like anymore because it's more of a WWE style. But real fans, they know who the real fighters are.
Go ahead, Matt.
So Dakar, so look, I don't know if you can see this on the. I'm going to load this video up here from Instagram, but there's an image of you with a custom-made suit, right? Like got your name on the inside of the threads, looking fresh. Now, in a sport where you guys are going to war inside the octagon, why do you guys choose to dress so nice when you're walking into the arena?
They actually sponsored me, Gill & Co. They're really nice, family-owned business, and they always want to support the locals. And he always would tell me, "Hey, you would look good in the suit." And this time I gave it a try, and hey, I look money, and it worked perfect. Got a big win, and I look really good.
Where are they located, and how can people reach out to them?
They're located in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's appointment based. But Gil and Co. On Instagram, every platform, just Gil and Co.
Have you reached out to Adam? Have you reached out to Adam at 8-Man and done a little bragging and tell him you need some more swag?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna head over there this week. My wife always makes some cookies and stuff, so I got to have her make a batch up, and then we're gonna head over there this week.
So with it being said, where you're from, as you can see behind me, I have a map of the world. So Randy was hatched in Philadelphia. He wasn't born there. He wasn't raised there. He doesn't have the mentality of a Philadelphian.
I was born there.
He was hatched. But where are you from? Like what community, what city, what state, what country represents you as like who you are today? Because I'm gonna put you on the map. You're gonna be the first.
I'm from a small little town in Michigan. It's a tourist town. It's called South Haven, Michigan. But in one of my interviews after my fight, I still feel like that poor little kid from South Haven, Michigan. I'm always going to stay humble and stay grounded, especially, there's so many people back in South Haven, Michigan that support me. And I'm never going to be bigger than them. You know what I mean? Because, I've seen a lot of people, they let this little fame get to their head. Hey, we're all the same.
All right, so on the map, where in Michigan am I talking about? Like the hand, like where are we looking?
Okay, let me show you where.
Just above. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
In the corner. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, so he's putting that up there right now as we speak. How did you celebrate, whether it was Saturday night or Sunday?
I came back. My family came to the hotel. We had a little bit of food, and then we ended up just going to this little nice little. It's like a little nightclub, but we were there just for a little bit, and then we ended up stopping at this pizza parlor. And I had about 4 slices of pizza. So
okay, now let's talk pizza. So Detroit style pizza is big. That's a big trend. So I know you don't know me well. You know Randy better than me, but I invented the pizza diet. So if you ever want to keep pizza on your fight plan during fight camp, we can talk about macros, talk about crust, talk about switching out sugar for sodium bicarbonate to get performance enhancing benefits out of your training. So any pizza questions you have on or off show, we'll connect.
Oh, perfect. Because if I could eat pizza all camp and not gain any weight, I think I might take you up on that.
What's your favorite topping, and what topping should never be put on pizza?
I'm more of a pepperoni bacon guy. And they always say don't put pineapple, but I like pineapple on a pizza.
I do. I like it as well. When will you be back in the gym, or are you already in the gym?
I'm coaching right now. My guys, they just got done sparring. I'm a coach over here at Red Hawk Academy with Tim Welch and Sean O'Malley. So, and Mark Madsen, not Mark Madsen, but I'm having a brain fart right now. But my boy, I'm just enjoying life right now. But it kind of sucks. I think I might have tore my shoulder in the second round. I got an MRI yesterday, so hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully, I can just do some therapy and then be back. Because I want to fight before the year's over. So,
did you learn the valuable lesson that we all did watching? Now people are demanding fights while they're still in the cage with Dana. Did you see that? And then Dana, I guess somebody got to Joe Rogan. And he said, "Yep, you just got the fight in Rio. Yep, you just got the bonus." That was pretty quick to do it then.
Yeah, I've done that before, where I'm like, "Hey, I want to fight on this card," and it's never happened. So. They must have got that Dana White treatment. So
that's anything final there, Matt?
No, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you so much for having me on, and now we have a friendship, and I'm gonna have those shorts sent over to you this week.
Well, I got the wall right here. It's all going to be ready. I will be at your next fight as long as it's in the States. I do travel outside the country, so depending on where your fight is, I hope to be there to cover it in person.
So where would you want to go?
State-wise or outside the country?
Outside the States.
I've been to Rio. I've covered fights there. I love going to Rio. Get on the Rio card. Plus, we'll have bodyguards and everything down there, which we need, just so you know. When we went down there, we got, I don't want to say carjacked. We got pulled over and ripped off by the police while we were there.
Yeah, I fought out there last year, and I had a great time. Like, I went all over. I think they thought I was Brazilian, so I think that's why they didn't mess with me.
Well, we went all over too. My trainer is Brazilian. His whole family obviously is. We stayed at his house, and we still got pulled over. Luckily, he was able to talk to him in Portuguese. And some things came up, and in their Portuguese, they said, "What are you doing? You were buying drugs in the favela." And Daniel was like, "No, I wasn't. I'm with the UFC." And we had the UFC doctor, Jeff Davidson. We had one of the judges, Chris Lee, and myself. And they said, "Prove it." So he brought out some UFC stuff, and the police stole it all, took it all. And Daniel goes, "That's mine." And the policeman goes, "No, my friend, it's mine." So we're like, "Okay, take whatever you want. Take whatever you want." Where would you?
It was yours. It's mine now.
It was yours. Where would you like to fight next? If you could fight anywhere, where would you like it to be, so that you can enjoy the process as well, not just because it's the fight?
Be honest, anywhere where they're not going to tax me crazy.
So where is that? I mean, do you know where? Obviously, in the States, you want to come to places like Florida or Texas, I'm sure. But
I love fighting in Vegas because that's only a 4-hour drive. I can fight and then drive home and sleep in my bed that night.
Sure.
But I would love to go to Rio again. I had a great time out there. It was beautiful. I thought the food was great. And no, Rio would definitely be another spot I would love to fight at.
How about the White House card next year? No.
I don't know. I don't want to fight. No.
But my thing is that I don't want this. This isn't political. It doesn't matter either side. Just being there. This is probably a one-off, kind of like the Sphere.
Yep.
And just doing it, something like that would be cool. But
yeah,
okay.
I'd be like, that's a spot where people are trying to target it. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I wouldn't want to be there.
There was a TV show, Designated Survivor. If you've seen that, then I see where you're coming from that. Hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. Hopefully you'll be a regular on the show moving forward. And if you need anything from us, the thing about Vegas, if you fight in Vegas, I'll try to get Adam to come to it.
So you'll get Adam coming?
I'll get Adam to come. Adam from 8 Man
Strong. Yeah, definitely.
We'll work on him to come out. But again, thank you for your time. Congratulations on a dominant victory. And let's talk again real soon.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. And you'll have those shorts. So
absolutely. What, Matt?
Well, and so, Dakar, so you are the first UFC fighter to do our streaming platform. This is a new format for us. And South Haven, Michigan is on the map behind us. So you will always be represented with us for eternity.
Oh, man, that's an honor. I appreciate you guys.
Good stuff. Enjoy. Take care.
Man. Yeah, thank you. Have a great day.
You as well.
See you, bro.
All right, that is Drakkar Klose, our new best friend. What a good dude. All right, I know we went over a little bit, so let's hit this break, and then we'll get ready for our second UFC fighter. Brad Tavares fights in a couple weeks in Paris, and he'll be on when we return.
Hey, this is Raleigh Fingers, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you are bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
Rhino Cards, located at 406 11th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, is your one-stop card collection facility, specializing in all sports, Pokemon, Star Wars, and of course, Knockout Radio's favorite, the UFC cards. If you're looking to purchase, sell, or trade, then Rhino Cards is the place for you. Details are coming on some very awesome UFC card giveaways, thanks to Rhino Cards as well. That's Rhino Cards, conveniently located in St. Petersburg, on 4th Street and 11th Avenue North.
I'm very excited to announce that Knockout Radio finally has our very own Challenge Coin, thanks to Challenge Coin Country. Challenge Coin Country is a family-run business with over 17 years experience making custom challenge coins, lapel pins, bottle openers, keychains, and many other custom products. They even produced 2 different variations for us, one for military recipients and a slightly different coin for civilians. I strongly suggest you check them out at challengecoincountry.com with free express shipping, and they proudly offer discounts for first responders and military as well. That's Challenge Coin Country at challengecoincountry.com. I'm very excited to announce that Knockout Radio finally has our very own Challenge Coin, thanks to Challenge Coin Country. Challenge Coin Country is a family-run business with over 17 years experience making custom challenge coins, lapel pins, bottle openers, keychains, and many other custom products. They even produced 2 different variations for us, one for military recipients and a slightly different coin for civilians. I strongly suggest you check them out at challengecoincountry.com with free express shipping, and they proudly offer discounts for first responders and military as well. That's Challenge Coin Country at challengecoincountry.com. Experience the charming Country Depot gift shop located in the heart of downtown Brooksville, located at 36 North Broad Street. From sports memorabilia to antiques, from handbags to one-of-a-kind art and decor, the Country Depot has it all. Check them out at countrydepot.com, Country Depot on Facebook, or stop by the store at 36 North Broad Street in downtown Brooksville. Got bills and looking for work but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
Hey, Tom, this is Terrell Owens, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
All right, we are back. Final segment coming up. Brad Tavares will be on momentarily. Was out covering the Bucs earlier today, and a lot of talk about ending preseason, maybe adding on another game or 2 and taking preseason away. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think you see a lot of players get hurt in preseason. You know, it goes both sides of the. Oh, got a special delivery. I just got my sponsorship in. Look at that, Randy. Oh boy, the show is growing. Look at this. You and I are about to take it to the next level, man. We got some new stuff coming our way. But I think you know it goes both ways. You got to get fighters or athletes conditioned for game speed, but at the same time you don't want them to get injured. So in the fight game, you know, I always talk to fighters about training to fight, not fighting to train. So I think the NFL kind of falls in that same category. I see a lot of injuries, guys ending their careers before they even get started.
But will the NFL take away preseason games? I mean, it's a money grab. You know,
Yeah,
you have to buy these tickets. The starters don't play, but it is important because these youngsters, these rookies, these new draftees, these non-drafted, you know, are fighting to get on a roster. They're fighting for jobs. So how do you determine, you know, charging, don't charging, you know, getting, don't get?
Yeah, I think it's tricky, you know, but I think there's too many preseason games. Don't they have 4?
It's 3 now.
3. I think that's a lot. I mean,
well, but again, it's not a lot when your starters aren't playing. You know, Baker Mayfield hasn't played yet. He probably won't. Aaron Rodgers, but do they need to play? It's such a fine line. Nobody goes, but you have to buy them. If you have season tickets, you have to buy them. But a lot of decisions with the Bucs coming down, by the way.
But I think adding games to the season is too much. I mean, their bodies are broken. I mean, the teams that win the Super Bowl aren't necessarily the best team. They're just the ones that still have players that are able to compete at that level. Like,
no,
I mean,
no.
Everybody's banged up. Everybody's banged up by week 8. Most of the league are banged up, and then the rest of the season they're not their full potential.
How can you say the best team does? The best team won the Super Bowl last year. No doubt.
Team, because the best players get hurt in the season, quarterbacks go down. Aaron Rodgers tore Achilles heel, Achilles tendon.
When Aaron Rodgers was with the Jets, the Jets were not the best team in football. Last year, the best team in football was, as much as it hurts me to say, was the Philadelphia Eagles.
Didn't Rodgers get hurt on the first game of his first season? I mean,
with the Jets.
If he was healthy all the year, who knows if the Jets could have been a contender?
Who knows? You're right. We don't know that. But
Right.
the best team did win it last year. I'm not saying that the best team hasn't won it every year. The best team in the NFL last year was the Philadelphia Eagles. Some would say the Detroit Lions, and yes, Hutchinson getting hurt, cost, blah, 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 blah. But if you would have said the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, not many people would have disagreed with you. And right now,
the Lions are probably this year's favorite, right?
Yeah, the Lions and the Chiefs.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm just talking to Brad Tavares. He's taking a shower.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
Well, he just finished.
Locker room.
He just finished his workout. He's trying to, if he gets done in time, we can get him on for a couple minutes. If not, possibly push it to next week. Do you want to pull up this weekend's card? Do you want to look at that while we wait for Brad? Or
yeah, let's do it.
I'm not even sure where it is. I know it's not here in the States.
Now
I backed. Yeah, it is. I think it is. I backed myself in the corner because I know Adam doesn't like to travel a lot. He may run from Phoenix to Vegas. Dude was just in a 100-mile race.
Oh, Adam was?
Yes.
Wow.
Not in a car.
That's pretty amazing.
It wasn't a road race. It wasn't a road rally.
Yeah, this fight, this is at the Shanghai Indoor Stadium. I believe that's the same place when Frankie Edgar fought in Japan, right?
Well,
no, because that would be Japan, not China.
Right, it would be Japan.
But that has a similar name.
At least you started the show off bad, and you're going to end the show off bad. So at least the in and the out is not very good.
Do you want me to share the screen, or are you worried about the UFC trademarking?
Yeah, don't. Yes, just
so
butcher the
prelims.
names.
You want me to start at the prelims and go all the way up, or you want me to start at the main card?
Whichever names you can't pronounce the best.
All right, well, let's go main card. So your main event is light heavyweight bout, number 13, Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang, the number 14 fighter from China. Johnny Walker representing the Brazilian flag. Featherweight bout, Brian Ortega. He should have been the one fighting in Chicago, but anyway, featherweight bout versus Aljamain Sterling. So former champion versus Ortega.
I like that fight. Intrigued?
Yeah, I think that's a great matchup. Your heavyweight bout is Sergey Pavlovich.
Hey, watch your mouth. We're on FCC.
Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortez Acosta, representing the Dominican Republic. You don't see many Dominican Republic fighters in the UFC.
Yeah, because they're playing baseball.
Yeah, or boxing. Flyweight belt, a one name fighter. Some Udai from China. No first, no last name, just that name. Versus Kevin Borja from Peru. You don't think of Peru as a fight country, do you?
I think there's fighters in every country.
Well, I'm sure it's a global sport, but I mean, have you ever heard of a Peruvian fighter?
I'm not even saying that fighting is the sport. People fight all over the world. So yeah, there's fighters everywhere. And I've said numerous times, there's great fighters that have never even been found. They never have the opportunity, in anywhere. It could be in Tampa, St. Pete. It could be in Vegas. It could be in Peru. It could be in Rio. It could be anywhere. It's all, having the availability to do what you want to do. And maybe some guy doesn't or female doesn't want to fight, but could.
So on the prelims, I don't know, this must be a China thing. I mean, you would think it would be like an American thing with like Madonna, Prince, Elvis, like just share, one name people. But apparently in China, on the prelim, you have 1, 2, 3. You've got 3 Chinese fighters, all with just a single name.
Is it fair to include Elvis in that list? And the reason I'm saying it is, let's be honest, it's Elvis Presley, right?
Yeah.
Right? What's Madonna's last name?
Virgin.
What's Prince's last name? What's Cher's last name? All I'm saying is at least Elvis's last name.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right.
I mean, you could try to say Cher Bono because you don't remember all the other exes, but you don't even know her last name. At least Elvis, his last name.
Yeah, I would say her middle name's Like and the last name's Virgin.
Well, that would be
like. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah.
You got to do it. You got to do it in the English accent, though.
I can't do English accent. I can barely do my accent.
Somehow she moved over there, and now she has this thick English accent.
Well, you made it in the world when you only have a single name, right? I mean, isn't that kind of the threshold for being like a household name or a mega superstar? Like if you hear one name and you know who it is, everybody, the world knows who it is. That's kind of what the pinnacle, right?
Okay.
No? I mean, if you say Conor, McGregor.
Not necessarily. If you go out in the public, on Knockout Radio, sure. If you just say Conor, you're going to think Conor McGregor. But
what about Brad? What if?
There he is.
I'm her.
There we go. Let's welcome back to the program. It's been a while. Brad Tavares. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Can you guys hear me okay? I'm in my truck. I just finished training. I got to head to some medicals. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me.
We can hear you fine. We're just, there we go. Just training go well? Everything good? Everything fun?
Awesome. Everything awesome. Just finished a killer. Thank you, bro. Yep. Just finished a killer strength and conditioning workout. See you later, brother.
Hit him with the train horn. Hit him with the train horn.
I hit him with it. I hit him with it way too much. Like he's numb to it already.
Let me ask you this. Normally, your next fight is the most important fight. No matter what, no matter what's happened in the past. But this fight could mean even more. Legacy, generations down. This is a big fight. Do you need to block that out?
You know what? Honestly, so again, it might sound kind of cliche. You hear fighters, including myself, say it all the time. The next fight is always the biggest fight, but it really is. It really, like, that's how you approach it, because I tell you what, like, I am not thinking about past this fight. I need to get past this. I need to get past this dude first. And once we get past that, then I can soak in everything else. I can soak in the records and the accolades and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, you're in there with another grown man that has trained all these weeks to beat your butt. He wants to go out there, he wants to hurt you. So it's nothing to take lightly. I cannot look past him no matter who he was and no matter what's on the line, because at the end of the day, I'm locked in a cage with another guy that's trying to take my head off. So the next fight is always the biggest fight.
For those people that don't know, Brad right now is tied for the most victories in the division with Michael Bisping. One more victory, moves on and now sets the record, and that's legacy. Having any kind of record, but a record like this is legacy stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's nothing. What is crazy is it's not something that I ever even like really thought of. You know, like getting into this career and getting into the UFC. And even when I started getting close to it, it was something that I wasn't even really aware of. It was something kind of brought up by the media, like, hey, you know, like you're on the cusp of this. And then even my last fight, when I did tie the record, it wasn't something that was on my mind. But as soon as Bisping like got in the cage and started talking to me, I knew where he was going with it. And then, you know, it kind of sank in. And honestly, it was really cool, you know, to have him be the one interviewing me after tying him for the record. So, yeah, you know, it's all things that I'll be able to look back on and just cherish, you know, in my life.
So, Brad, I know you're driving now, so don't look at the screen, but I'm going to upload a picture. It's your profile picture from Instagram where, you know, representing the Hawaiian flag. And before you came on today, Randy and I talked about, I don't think there's another state that gets represented as much as Hawaii, especially in the fight game. So talk about that. Why do so many of the Hawaiian fighters represent this flag over the American flag?
You know, it's nothing. So let me first start off by saying that I am a proud American. You know, I am a proud American. I love our country. I love our nation. Greatest country on the planet. But that being said, that, you know, we are from a small little island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And I think for us as people from Hawaii, as Hawaiians, to come from such a small place and make it to any stage, you know, Hawaii, it is paradise, but there's not a lot of opportunity there. You know, it's expensive. It's hard for us to like get to places, being that we gotta fly everywhere. We gotta import everything in. You definitely got it easier out here in the mainland when it comes to like, say, like Little League baseball. If I wanted to go and compete in tournaments around the country, it's so much easier and more affordable for a family to rent a car or even hop in their car and drive from state to state, city to city, and do all these things. In Hawaii, no matter where you go, like even if you're going to a different island, you got to hop on a plane. That costs money. Hotels, it's expensive. So anyway, getting to like the next stage in anything is huge for us locals. And I think that just the fighting, the warrior spirit mentality, that is part of our culture. So when it comes to fighting, we really cherish that and we carry it with us. And we always just want to represent our home, our state, our land. And that's Hawaii. And that's what carrying that flag is, you know, representing Hawaii, this little speck in the middle of the Pacific Ocean that we come from.
Well, you're on the map behind me. I'm going to put a thumbtack in your hometown to represent you. You'll be the first fighter from Hawaii that we put on the map. And I'm sure you won't be the last. Go. So what city do you call home? What island or what city?
So I'm from the Big Island, and pretty much when like people don't know, like the little city I'm from is actually a little town called Volcano. It's right near the Kilauea Volcano National Park. And that's where I grew up on a mountain. It's actually cold there. But the big city that everybody knows is Hilo. So anytime anybody asks me, I just tell them Hilo because it's easier for them to know, like, oh, okay, Hilo, yeah. So, and that's also where I went to school and stuff. But the little city that I actually grew up in, that I lived in, is Volcano. So I'm from the Big Island, from Volcano or Hilo, either or, it doesn't matter. It's kind of the same.
What's it like, you know, when you're talking about the flag and you know, the use of it by you Hawaiians? So what's it like when you go home, when BJ went home, when Shane Victorino goes home, you know, that made it as big as you guys have done?
It's really cool. Like it's really cool to be embraced by, you know, the fellow locals. And I currently live in Vegas now. And if you guys never heard this, they call Vegas the 9th island. Hawaii has 8 major islands in the island chain, and they call Vegas the 9th island because there are so many Hawaiians and Hawaii locals here now in Vegas. Again, because it's so much more affordable to be here. But it's just, I don't know. It's hard to put it. You gotta like be from Hoyt, and you understand it. You know what I mean? But when I go home and just being embraced by everybody there, like it honestly warms my heart. I really appreciate it. I am grateful for it. I do not overlook it. I don't just think like, cool, whatever. It is important to me, and I really value it.
Before I ask you about your upcoming fight in a couple weeks in Paris, give me your thoughts, your take on the title fight over the weekend.
You know, honestly, it was one of those fights that I was very interested in because I had no idea what to expect. Dricus is one of those guys that, hey man, I'm tired of betting against the dude. Every time he goes into a fight and I think this is the way it's gonna go, no, he comes out and puts somebody away and I'm like, bro, I'm done betting against this dude, you know? But that being said, Khamzat is man, he's a freak, and look at what he did. So I initially thought that if Khamzat finished him in the first 3 rounds, it would be his fight. But I thought past that if it got to the 4th and 5th, the championship rounds, that Dricus would find a way to get the win. But that wasn't the case. It went all 5 rounds. Khamzat completely dominated him. And now I sit back and look and I'm like, what's next for Khamzat? You know, who's next?
Who do you think, could go in there and compete with that? And I also want to ask you about, the casual fan. It was a boring fight, which I didn't necessarily think it was. And putting all the blame on your new champion, it's Dricus's job to get out of the crucifix, not, the fighter putting you in the crucifix.
Yes. So that's the thing. Me as a fighter, I did not think that was a boring fight at all. Having actually fought Dricus and knowing what he's capable of and how good of a fighter he is, for Khamzat to do that to him was downright impressive to me. I was impressed. So I didn't think the fight was boring. But however, I do know a lot of people that thought that was such a boring fight. Like every other person I spoke to was like, oh, that fight was trash. That fight was boring. I hope that not every fight now is going to look that way, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, like at the end of the day, we are fighters, but this is the entertainment business. People want to see a good, fun, entertaining fight. So I understand the frustration, but I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm going to bring up a name from the past, my good buddy, George Gagel. 412-degree black belt, but he would always tell me, I don't want to win on the ground. I want to beat my opponent at his best. And then he would tell me after the fight, hey, I did my best and I couldn't win. I'm like, George, you got to do what's best for you to win. And that's what happened Saturday. He did.
You know what? No, you know what is so funny about that is that while we were watching that fight, I got a group text with some of my best friends, and we always go back and forth. Some of them are still in Hawaii. So we're watching the fights, but we're not actually together, but we're just chiming in and giving our 2 cents, our opinion. And we went back talking about it. And I said to them, I bet you Sean Strickland is watching this right now and thinking to himself, man, I should have wrestled Dricus, because we always preach to Sean. Sean, you're such a good wrestler. You have such good ground. Wrestle, please wrestle. Does he ever do that? No. You see him out there, I'm going to do the man dance. Yesterday or 2 days ago, we're talking, and he tells me, yeah, I was watching that fight, and I thought to myself, man, I probably should have wrestled Dricus. I just started losing it. I was like, bro, I was laughing so hard. I said, bro, let me show you the text. I texted my boys that. I said, Sean is watching this right now thinking that he should have done that. And, as a fighter, there's a lot of things that you probably think, oh, I could, blah, blah, blah. And people tell you this, but when you get in there, something else takes over, and it doesn't always go that way.
I didn't know if Matt had anything. All right, so now let's talk about Paris. It's a work trip. It's not a vacation. but will you be able to do anything? Do you go early? Are you going to stay late? Are you going to enjoy that you're going to Paris?
So I'm excited to go. As far as I've never been there, it's cool to, you know, experience new things, be in different countries and whatnot. It's not like I'm going to get to like fully enjoy everything as I'm there. Again, like you guys said, for work, I'm going to be cutting weight. I got to watch what I eat and drink and all of those things. But when it comes to fighting, like, I'm not one of those guys that is like I like to lock in. I'm cool with staying in my room, hanging out, just chilling with the boys, working out. And I don't care if we go sightseeing or not. Initially, I wanted my family to come out after the fight, but my wife has some work things coming up that, you know, is going to prevent us from doing that. And then on top of that, my girls are back in school. So, you know, we don't want them to miss too much schooling. So this trip, they're not going to make it out there. It's just going to be a strictly work trip, in and out. I'm going to go out there a little early, nothing crazy. You know, they're not too far ahead of us. I've fought on that time zone before. But, yeah, as soon as the fight is over, I'm just trying to get back home to my family.
And then you can use the bonus from the win to then bring the whole family out at a later time.
Yeah, you know what? And when we do it, we'll do it up. I'll wait till, you know, my girls are out of school for whatever, spring break, winter break, whatever it is, and we'll make a full trip of it, you know, hit up France, Italy, really do it up.
How old are your girls?
I got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. So my 7-year-old is in 2nd grade and my 3-year-old is she's in preschool.
So does the 7-year-old grasp what dad does?
She does. They watch it on TV. They cheer, you know, and hopefully it's going good for me and it goes good for them if that's the case. But yeah, they grasp it. My 7-year-old, in fact, both of them do jiu-jitsu, but my 7-year-old, she actually competes. She does jiu-jitsu. She wrestles a little bit. So she pretty much understands what it is. They're at the gym every single day with me, so they know what's up.
You probably haven't thought this out yet, but when your girls get older, when they're in high school, when they're in college, they won't get dates, which is awesome. When the fraternity learned that my daughter, you know, has trained a little bit and knows so many fighters, she couldn't get a date to save her life, and it was the best thing I ever heard. Was that's great.
Hey, agreed.
Whatever it takes.
I have thought about it, you know, like that's a reality, you know, that's life. Like, your babies ain't gonna be your babies forever. You gotta enjoy the time while they're young, because man, it happens fast, you know. Like, it felt like yesterday we were just giving birth to my 7-year-old and she's gonna be 8 soon. So I definitely know the feeling, and I know that it goes fast, but I also know that that's life, that they'll grow up. So honestly, what I hope is that me as a father and as a man, I'm showing them what a father, a husband, and a man should look like, you know? So that helps guide their choices when they get older to make those decisions. But hey, if people hear who her dad is and she, you know, they don't want to date her because of that, then oh well, they ain't cut out for it.
Exactly. Yeah, then it worked out well. Give me your thoughts on the opponent.
You know, I never overlook anybody. He's not been in the UFC long, coming off a loss, but hey, I always say that when people come off of losses, that makes them even hungrier. They want to get that taste of defeat out of their mouth, and they're gonna try and do it at your expense. From the looks of him, you know, good striker, more of a boxer, and I think he might have like a black belt or something, but I've not seen him use his ground and wrestling all that much. So I'm not quite sure, you know, what to expect there. But again, I train and prepare for everything and anything under the sun. So I definitely respect the guy. But again, I really fully believe in my skills, my talents, my abilities. And I have no doubt that I'm about to break this record.
A good friend of mine, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer first-round draft pick, also fought in the UFC, was on the Ultimate Fighter, Marcus Jones. He once told me he was the #1 draft pick of the Bucs, and he said, "I'm not a fan of football. I don't like football. I'm just good at it." So, are you a fan of MMA, the sport? That is your life, or are you just good at it?
I would say both, because granted, I've been around the game so long, it doesn't excite me as far as like back in the day. And granted too, there's fights like every week now. So it's not as how it used to be. When I was growing up, there was like one fight every couple of months. So it was a whole big thing to like get the guys together. Let's get the pay-per-view. Let's order some food. Let's barbecue. Let's make a whole big thing about it. And it's not like that now. Now it's on every week, so it's not the same. But don't get me wrong, I do get excited for certain fights, for certain cards, and this past weekend was one of them. The main event in particular, I really, really was curious to see how that would play out, and it did surprise me. And people might have thought it was boring, but I enjoyed it. The fight fan in me enjoyed it, And I think if you are a true fight fan, hardcore fight fan, you can really be wowed at what Khamzat did to a guy like Dricus. So yeah, I would say I am a fan. And it's funny that you say that about those guys, because the Raiders, right? We just hired John Spytek, who came from Tampa Bay, and one of their things was over there. I think is it Jason Light? Who's the GM of the Bucs? Is it Jason Light?
Yeah, Jason Light.
Yeah. So Jason Light, John Spytek, sorry. One of their things is that, hey, we want football guys. We don't care if you're good at football. We want guys who are in love with football. So it's funny that they drafted Marcus Jones or whatever, who said he doesn't love football. He's just good at it.
So are you a Raider fan?
Oh, I'm a diehard Raider fan, born and bred. And just so happens they're in Vegas and I'm in Vegas. So it was a match made in heaven.
Well, it just so happens when I come out for what's the UFC number that I'm going to, Matt? 321 or something? Whatever the one that's coming.
December?
No, the one in October.
Oh, October. Is that? Wait, who is that?
The two title fights. It's the two title fights. The 6th, the 5th. It's the 5th or 6th of October.
Who's the main event though? Is that Ilya and Justin?
No, I don't think so. I don't even know. What'd you say, Matt?
I
don't think it's Ilya.
You said it's October. Is it Oliveira versus? Is it October 11th?
No, it's
that's in Brazil. Okay. Ankalaev versus Pereira too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
October 4th.
So,
320. UFC 320.
I'll be out there that whole week, and you tell me when you have time, preferably the Tuesday, because that's the NFL off day. One of my closest friends, Alex Kappa, now plays for the Raiders.
Yeah. So, Kappa, yeah.
So I want to introduce you to
the Bengals, right?
Well, the Bengals, and he was with Tampa first. He was with Tampa, then went to the Bengals.
Yeah, he was with Tampa first.
Right.
Yep.
So I got him huge. He's a huge UFC fan. He wants to do some training, and maybe I can hook the two of you guys up, and you can get the football guy, and the football can get the UFC guy.
Hey, anytime, and it doesn't even have to. I know they're in like getting ramped up for the season, but it doesn't even have to be then. Put us in touch. If he wants to come by and get some cross training in to help out, he's more than welcome. We'd love to have him.
I will definitely set it up. Brad, as always, thank you for your time. I enjoyed having you on. I don't know if I've already sent these to your girls. Have I sent them the dragons, the 3D dragons?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to get your address later. One of my sponsors is called Fantasy Pets. They're 3D dragons. They're really super cool, and I'm going to send each one of them one of these dragons for you coming on and chatting with us.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. They'll be stoked.
We will talk soon.
And Brad,
yes.
Volcano, Hawaii is now on the map.
Yep.
So representing the Big Island.
Let's go, V-Town 96785.
Yes, sir.
Brad, thanks for talking to us while you're driving.
No problem, man. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, that I had such a busy day and I'm driving. And
it's all good.
But I appreciate you guys having me on.
We love having you on as well. That is Brad Travares. Fights in a couple weeks in Paris. What a good dude. And now I'm going to hook them up with Alex, and that's going to be cool as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we went over just a little bit, not on the FCC portion, but on the stream on YouTube. My daughter's laughing about me making the comment that she couldn't get dates while she was in college, which I certainly love.
True.
And it's all good.
Blair
so,
watching?
Huh? Blair is
Shout out
watching.
to your granddaughter, Blair. So
Yep.
a new member of the Knockout Radio Randy regime.
Give me your 30-second or so thoughts on our first attempt at the stream.
That was great. Look forward to seeing how it chops it up on AI. With the recording, we could be able to get sound clips and shorts and reels done for you through the AI process. So hopefully we can start uploading some of the conversations. I assume there's algorithms where based on how much laughter or how loud the volume gets, that probably chops up that part of the segment. So looking to see how we can get this, post-production out to the world.
All right. Well, that's on you. Good job, with the exception of not running the Queer Eye for the Sports Guide music. But we'll have Mick back on so you can practice getting it on. And good stuff. You did good, and it was a lot of fun.
And the map is growing. We're getting more reach, and so now I've got Nigeria and Volcano, Hawaii on the map that I didn't have before the show started. So we are growing internationally, my friend.
Well, you left off Philadelphia. You didn't mention that was the first one up there.
That was the first one. But the map is filling in nice. So we'll keep it going next week, 12 to 3 Eastern Standard Time, knockoutradio.com, Tan Talk Radio Network, and of course, YouTube at Knockout Radio.
Good stuff. We'll see everybody next week. And Matt and I will do some streams leading up to next week's broadcast as well. Until then, peace out.